Hello everyone, welcome to the ESL Go4GW2 Cup number 50. There's 50 cups. That's so many. You're right, Storm, how are you going?
I am doing great, glad to be here. Haven't been doing an EU cast for since you were gone with Chronic, so glad to be back. Looking forward to this double duty today for EU and NA.
Yeah, Storm's putting the big shift today. It's always a fun one. I'm just going to turn you up a little tiny bit. There we go. Just leave that over there. Cool. So yeah, we appreciate you joining us today. Of course, he obviously Storm is not Nick. He's not suddenly become American. The randomness that is involved, and Storm gets to witness that indeed today as well. We have a selection of teams today. We have 9, I do believe. We have Vermillion, 4th place heroes, Rusty, Succulent Cessation, Bring On Hot. Not going to go through the second part of the name. Everest Pirates. Cavaleria Varby, Watch Me Nay, Purple Noise, and Rank 55 Dragons. So first of all today we're going to go with Watch Me Nay versus Purple Noise. And I noticed in the chat we got quite a lot of people who actually don't know what this is. This is the EU version of the ESL Go4GW2 Cup tournament for this week. It is played weekly on Sundays. This is our cash tournament where you can win 400 euros if you come in first place. Second place is 100 euros plus 2,000 gems per player. The third position is 2,000 gems per player, and then fourth position is 800 gems per player. Had to read that off the actual screen there because I did forget about the third position and fourth position. So, you know, it's good to enter this cup. Last week we only had 3 teams, so there was like, you know, 5 times 800 gems which went missing. I didn't take them.
Three teams, and it still took 3.5 hours. So,
oh my god, it was a long day. it was literally 4 hours. Yeah.
We'll see how 10 teams match up to that. So hopefully it's not, you know, triple that. So.
Because otherwise you're just going to be passed out. Otherwise
it'll overlap with NA there. So yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Looking forward to it.
That's very true. Yeah, we got some different. We're just waiting for our teams to come in at the moment. We're going to do Nay versus Purple Noise, like I said, but there is a couple of different interesting changes. Of course, you know, Bring On Hot, Orange Logo aren't really playing fully as a team at the moment, so they don't want to play under their name. You know, we're not sure who's going to be playing in that team. So if you go to the ESL Guild Wars 2 global page, you can actually go and check out all this info that I'm talking about and see who's actually playing on that team. There's actually quite a lot of good names on there. But we are going to go in game and just have a look to see what's going on for the blue team. Now, Storm's going to go through the blue team builds, and I'll go through red when they actually get into the arena, which I hope will be quite soon. And they haven't gone for, you know, for a couple of drinks, you know, down the bar. They're watching Worlds today or whatever.
Sounds about right.
Okie dokie. So if you want to go through the builds, mate, that'd be awesome.
Sure. Take a look over at Knight Jr. first. Looks like he's playing Warrior for these guys. Running with that sword shield with the longbow. Looks like he's going to be running Rune of the Soldier as long with the Settler Amulet. So running a Shoutbow build here along with tactics, discipline, and defense for himself. So, you know, the time I did cast on EU not too long ago, Shoutbow seemed to be a big thing on EU. It's not so much of a thing on NA, but, you know, I like Shoutbow back in the day. It's changed a bit here, running with that Settler Amulet. So should be dishing out, you know, a decent amount of good utility as a whole for his team. Looking forward to seeing this being played for this Purple Noise team. Next up, Shut, going to be playing the Thief for this team. DP, Shortbow, Scholar Rune. Looks like interesting choice there, running with Marauder Amulet, taking Deadly Art, Shadow Arts, and Trickery. Nothing crazy coming from this build, except Scholar Runes are a bit interesting. Maybe he doesn't know Vamp Runes are allowed today.
Yeah, this is what I've just put in map chat.
Okay.
So because this has been changed, guys. Last week it was not banned. That's just because it wasn't in the rules at the time, and this week it's here. We can use Vamp Rune if you would like to use it. Anyone is allowed to use Vamp Rune. It's completely up to people. This is the decision that has been made, and that's all I'm going to do in terms of talking about that.
So we'll have to see if he does change that, because Scholar Runes are definitely not as optimal as Vamp Runes for the Thief. Next up, Lulamental is playing DDLE with he does have the Vamp Runes on with that Sully Amulet, Fire, Water, and Arcane with Blinding Ashes, so nothing crazy, pretty standard DDLE build. Honey going to be playing the Staff LE build, running with the Vamp Runes as well, with Sully Amulet running Arcane Water and Earth with Stone Heart. This is interesting. Usually, I like, I have to refer to NA. The one and only staff LA we see on NA, ready-made, does not run Vampirunes. He runs Monk most of the time. So seeing Vampirunes on the staff LA is a little bit interesting for me. I'll see how that pans out for Honey. But of course, Honey, pretty renowned player on EU, so can't say that she doesn't know what she's doing there. So, and finally, we do have the Mesmer for this team running with the Great Sword, with that Sword Torch, with Zerker Amulet, running Pack Runes as well. Going to be running a PU for this team with Signet of Humility, so going to be running that MOA. No Vampirunes on the Mesmer. Interesting to see that, but Pack Runes serving a good purpose as well for them. So pretty well-rounded comp, I'd have to say so myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty ballsy, really. I mean, going for Pack and Berserker, Jesus. Okay, we're going to have to see how well that... Maybe the Thief and the other Mesmer, hopefully they'll be able to pick him up if he is aware that you can use Vampirunes. So, it's an interesting choice. I'm very, got a lot of respect for that, man. Yuri going to go over his build first. He's going to be playing Elementalist here. He's going to be going with the Staff with the Rune of Strength and Celestial Amulet there as well. He's also going for Earth, so we've kind of got a similar build to what Honey is playing as well over on this Staff Elementalist. So it's kind of cool to see the fact that we've got that going on. It's almost going to be a mirror comp. We're going to have to actually watch the rest of the builds to actually see if that's going to be the case. Thief's going to be playing DP with Vamp and also with Marauder there. He's going to be going for Shadow Arts, of course. So that's obviously going to be a lot of survivability for their team and himself in terms of, getting the reses up and also repositioning those Ellies, as well as, it's going to be pretty... Yes, guys, Vamp is allowed. I have had a million whispers. It is allowed today. Yes. Don't worry. Okay, we're going over to the other Elementalist. He's playing Dagger, and he's going with the Rune of Mercy. So the revive obviously being 20% faster there as well. Wow, we've not seen Rune of Mercy for a long time. Jesus. He's going into Earth as well, going with the Stoneheart trait. So we've got very tanky setup coming out for these guys. Wondering what Raisin's going to be playing, who that name definitely rings a bell to me as we go over towards the Mesmer, Rascal Mesmer here. He's going to be playing with the Sword, Offhand Torch and Great Sword with the Vampiroon and Zerkia Amulet there as well. And, pretty much the same build as we saw from the other Mesmer, going for that PU, of course, as well. Raisin's going to be the interesting one. He's going for... Oh, fine. Just logs out. That's all right.
He was running Hambo.
Was he?
He was running Hambo with Cleric's Amulet.
That would make sense that we've got
runes.
Two really, really tanky Elementalists there. I mean, I still think Hambo, to a degree, has kind of got a bit of a place, really, in terms of CC and control.
It can serve its purpose, but, I mean, Hammer isn't as popular of a weapon anymore as it used to be, especially on Zerker Warrior. I know personally at NA, we've seen most Zerker Warriors transition over to Axe Shield weapon set, especially with the buffs coming out from the shields just recently. So, seeing a Hambo, very interesting indeed. And actually, no, swapping over to a different character, not running into that Hambo.
I'm sad now. I don't know if you heard it through my voice. But yeah, he's going Hambo. We actually have over here, me and Nick called it the Shambo, which is like it's hammer instead of longbow. And we see Lipion actually playing that recently, where he goes clerics, obviously going for the power with the hammer, of course. And this amulet obviously changing depending on what the two-handed weapon is going to be between longbow and hammer. So that's always a kind of an interesting one to see. It's worked on various occasions. It's good for that stun, try and get off all his abilities that he needs to. Also using it in coordination sometimes with the banner as well. So gonna let these guys know they can ready up.
Interesting to see coming out from Watch Me Nay. Not going to be taking that Shapo. Not going to be actually taking the Fear Me. Going to be taking On My Mark instead. It's a lower cooldown, less utility in terms of group CC as a whole. Fear Me is very excellent, especially if going trying to get a nice res or whatnot. But like you said earlier, they do have an Elementalist running Mercy runes, which usually you don't see that in Ellie. Usually you see that on something maybe like a support guardian. So seeing that in Ellie, very surprising, to say the least.
We really, I can't even remember the last time we saw a rune of SC there as well. So I mean, it's going to be great. Their resing potential is going to be amazing. I mean, they've got February with that rune of mercy. They've got the warrior obviously with the banner. But like you said, I think that's a good point. Going with the Fear Me. know, it just seemed too much good, but I've seen some great play coming out from Alcor with that, actually, who, when we've seen a Shadow Refuge coming out from the enemy, he just jumps into it, and, you know, Fear Me, puts them all out of it. They're not able to stealth out and move away, and he's got some really good play with Fear Me, and I think, you know, yeah, it might be the better choice, but, you know, he does have that shorter cooldown, and it's got the big healing, you know.
The downfall of Fear Me, especially if the Mesmer Beans is in the area here, you know, running that Chaos line, Mirror of Anguish could definitely counter him, especially if he's going in for something like a banner. So popping that Fear Me and trying to banner something, if that Mesmer is around, hasn't been CC'd lately, that Mirror of Anguish is really going to hurt him. So we'll have to see if it's going to, you know, pay off running that on my mark instead.
We will have to wait and see as we wait for the guys to actually ready up. Are you excited to cast EU today?
I am. You know, we're gonna have what, 4 sets here. Still really excited to see these guys. It's definitely a change of pace. You know, coming from NA, where one team reigns dominance and it's basically a race for second place.
I have no idea today. We've got the comeback of someone who I'm very happy to see back in the scene as well. So I'm going to go through these first splits. We're just going to alternate around, but in the first game between Nay on the red team and Purple on the blue team, we're just going to see them coming out of the gates now as well. Roscoe actually not stealthed up here. Red team going to move in a 3-man group over towards this Henge node, going to be taking on Honey. She's going to be good with that Stoneheart trait, of course, so she's going to be able to take a lot of that burst incoming. We do have the portal there, of course, so that Baines can come back if he needs to.
Yeah, interesting to see Red Team not opt to go for that mine point right at the start. It's going to give Lala Mentalist a free cap over at the mine. Meanwhile, we saw the Thief shot go to the midpoint, going to try and spike down February. Looks like he's the main target. What is Blue Team? Despite that, no one actually relatively low within the opening minute of this game.
No, it's been like this in the last couple of weeks. We're seeing the people being very, very cautious at the start. Rascal does go through that, just operates the portal over towards midpoint now as well. Tries to get a little bit of burst damage there onto Scott, who actually dodges away with that withdrawal there. But actually, Scott comes down, gets a ton of damage down onto Rascal. Has to be very careful. Vamp form is going to be coming out there. If we didn't have that, he'd definitely be down. And actually, we're going to see Rascal come back with his own damage as well. But he's so low, almost immobilized as well. And not getting away, unfortunately. Shut really paying attention to where the Mesmer was, indeed.
Yeah, in the midst of that fight, we saw Baines drop the portal, allow Honey to get back from that Henge point, get, you know, up to full health, and then go right back to the portal to help out Knight Jr. over at the Henge. Still taking on the 2v2. Rather low, Knight Jr. is for the most part here, but Blue Team still up on members around the map with that 2-cap, building up to 60-point lead right now. Yuri actually pretty low, as well as Phil's, who might actually drop here over near the midpoint. To see if he is going to be taken down. He's
in an awkward situation over towards the Rose. Really should have tried to disengage if at all possible. He didn't get any help as well from his thief, who maybe could have just dropped a Shadow Refuge down to try and reposition him. But he's going for the actual +1 over here on the mine. As we see the Elementalist and the Mesmer on the red team now. Just should be able to cap this point okay, actually. A shot comes towards that point. Trying to get some damage now onto the red team thief there as he tries to get away. So, onto the blue team thief, sorry. And now we're actually going to see them disengage a little bit here.
Lola Mentalist got updrafted there by February, allowing him to get the first points of the game. Just under 100-point lead for the blue team. A very excellent start. They can't be complaining about that, especially getting the cap over the Henge, winning that fight as well. Going to be claiming the 2-cap once again, as it looks like a fight is starting to emerge between that midpoint and the mine, as this Steve Ethereum actually goes into the downstate there. Really good damage coming out there from Shet, able to take him out. Looks like they are not going to be able to get him back into this fight.
I'm really surprised that February didn't try that, actually, because he's got Mercy Runes. You know, I really actually think he could have just attempted that, but he's actually trying to guard the node here. We are going to see, oh, Rascal, you can just see him coming through that portal in Vapor form there as well, from that Vamp rune, of course, from Mist form, sorry. And we are going to see as well, he probably will go down here with Lola Mentalist and shot just on the point.
Yeah, that's a good point. February, I mean, didn't have Armor of Earth, so probably wouldn't have been able to guarantee that res with the Mercy Runes. Despite that, he is going to be in a heap of trouble here. Going to get help from his Steve coming off of respawn, but will it be enough? Only a Shadow Refuge. You're going to get another tough shot. Should be okay with that Blinding Powder. Despite that, the decap came out over at the Henge, so 1 cap in each team's favor. We'll have to see February actually taken down over at the mine by Lola Mentalist, and Shut should be able to clean up this fight in no time and take this cap once again. We'll have to see. He's going in for the res.
He's not been stealth there either. He must have attacked. I mean, we're actually going to see now He could have put down the Shadow Refuge and we could have seen the Vapor Form move in. Now, maybe that's just a bit of experience there where they've not been able to get the Thief up, the Elementalists up pretty easily, which normally would kind of be the case, but unfortunately not able to, in the end, get that repositioning as well. So over towards mid now, we do have the 2 cap still coming in for these guys at present. Just having a look back at Rascal as well over towards this mine node. Rascal and the Red Team Thief now. We're going to see a portal coming through as well, seeing where he's going to move to. But he's actually going to be put down as well on top of the portal.
I think he double portaled. Yeah, he double tapped that portal there, so that portal virtually useless.
Double rainbow.
And Rascal taken down there. Now Thelium's actually under a whole lot of pressure. He doesn't have anything left for himself. We'll have to see if he's able to make it out of this one alive. It looks like Shut's just going to let him be. Try and take out February, who got back to his home point. But he is going to be forced out of here as well. We could see a potential 3 cap come out here for Purple Noise as February under a heap of pressure. He is already going to pop that Vapor Form in the down state, and Blue Team taking the first 3 cap of the game.
Yeah, no one's in any position to help out there. The Warrior's actually 1v1 over on towards that henge point as well. So his banner, if he's got it on cooldown, is just going to be completely useless unless we get the Mesmer in there, which is he's going to +1. That's a good decision there to try and do that. But Red Team are 1 member down, and the F is really, really low himself. He gets just jumps into that Shadow Refuge. Actually ports back up out of his refuge there as well. I know he's trying to avoid some of that cleave damage. It's probably better in that state for a little bit of time there. We are going to see the potential rest coming out from Yuri. There's no way you're getting him up, mate. There's too much cleave around that corpse.
And despite that, Blue Team was very occupied with that mid fight and gave up the 2 cap, or are going to be giving up the 2 cap as February coming off a respawn, uncontested cap over at the mine. We did see it looks like that Phil's able to get the full cap, laying down over at the henge, expecting members of the Blue Team coming in quite soon here, but taking their first 2 cap of the game, trying to get back into this one. It's going to be an uphill battle, but they definitely can do it. They're able to hold on to these points.
Yeah, indeed. We've got they've got time left on the clock as well. We can see the Warrior potentially thinking about going for a little bit of a jumping puzzle move there, but can just jump on point as well with the Elementalist, and that's going to take a long time for those guys to get involved over there. But we've seen the kill coming out into February over towards the mine. Elementalist grabbing the kill there as well. F just unfortunately a bit too late. Nice updraft onto F on the Thief there to push him straight out of that refuge, and he's had no usage of that at all this game. Unfortunately, that man not getting too lucky with his Shadow Refuges there, and they are going to lose this 2 cap pretty quickly, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, Bane's actually portaled out of there, going to get over to the henge, knowing there's respawns, and they don't actually have the henge points, so they want to try and get this 3 cap once again, not letting up on the pressure they are putting out onto this Red Team here. Looks like they are going to get the 3 cap there as Yuri was forced into that misform that he has slotted in the utilities there. Going to be under a whole lot of pressure still from Bane's. Getting respawns, it just feels like this Red Team's kind of given up. They're all over the map right now.
Got GGs
no
as well.
synergy coming out from them. And GG's, like you say.
Nice. Okay. Well, it's a pretty confident start for Purple Noise there in the first game. GG already coming out from these guys. I mean, in that situation, you might actually want to just keep going, especially if you've got a second game. You know, I mean, even if, you know, you think, okay, we're going up against a team which really has played at the top end in EU. I mean, with various members, sorry. It's kind of nice to just keep getting that practice, you know, try and get those different matchups, try and win some 2v2s, 3v3s, team fights as well, 1v1s even, and just challenge and watch their movement around the map. So even if you do end up losing, saying GG...
I see 2 different sides respectively on it. The first side is calling GG, getting it over with, knowing you've lost, not getting even more demoralized about the loss. And while some people might not get demoralized, you know, at least you're failing something. Difficult. You just want to move on into the next game. So I can see calling the early GG. On the other hand, you know, trying to figure out, you know, you're giving yourself more time for the next game to think about what you could fix and what you need to do differently in the next game. And not to say they don't have plenty of time. Despite that, they could still see if they can, you know, find some weaknesses in the other team. I see both ends. Typically, I don't know, GGs are rarely called early. A lot of teams like to finish it, and I know as casters, we like to watch those games finish as well. But, you know, I see both sides of the story, but they're just going to, you know, give up on that first one, move on to the second one, not get any more down about it than they need to, and try and, you know, see what they can do on the second map here.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to see where they've actually gone. As I am seeing that mostly they have left the arena. I'm sure they're coming back. It would be great to... There's some definite potential as well. And, you know, it's just that experience, which is, you know, very, very key. And just getting a little bit unlucky. There's also, you know, when you get into that situation where you've not really played much in like high-end or competitive or even tournaments at all, where you can just maybe get a little bit, you know, nerves kind of set in, right? And different things kind of come up where you're like, oh, no, okay, I'm against this good team, against these good players, I'm coming up against this guy. And, you know, that can put the pressure on, and that really can do it. We've seen in live situations how even just being in a live arena can just change everything as well. So,
oh, definitely so. And I mean, these teams are thinking about this matchup. I wouldn't doubt it if Purple Noise already thinking about their next one. The winner going to be taking on rank 55 Dragons. That is not going to be an easy match for either of these teams who have to move on. But, you know, blue team still have to put in another victory here. But we do have changes coming out for the red team despite that. So, you know, I like to see teams change it up. If one thing doesn't work, if it goes horribly wrong, changing things up might be the answer. We'll have to see on Legacy here.
Yeah, okay, so let's go through these changes then. Oh, Yuri going for Stoneheart there. Raisin, let's see if he's gone. He's gone to Hambo, Storm!
Oh, boy.
He's gone to Hambo! I've not casted Hambo for so long. I'm so happy. And apologies
to the dogs. It was the meta back in the day, well, about 2 years ago.
Back in the day. He's actually gone for Cleric's Amulet here, which is kind of interesting. Obviously,
I mean, they have such a high health pool, along with the Soldier Runes as is. Cleric's is actually not a terrible decision. Still have that 900 base power from the Amulet.
Yeah, it's going for some different choices of traits here. Let's just have a look. Discipline, Tactics, Defense. Dogged March, of course, is normal, Endure Pain, and Cleansing Ire, then Vigorous Shouts. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Should be quite an interesting, you know, a little bit of extra support in there. Obviously, Merciless Hammer, Brawler's Recovery, and Warrior Sprint there as well. So it should be quite interesting to see what's going to come out of this, actually.
Very interested. He's not going to be taking Shake It Off. He's taking Burning Arrows. And the thing about Warriors is, I mean, you can't run a Warrior without the discipline trait line, right? So taking, I mean, you can't run a longbow. You can't sit in longbow for 10 seconds. Obviously, everyone runs that, but still, I don't like burning arrows at all. Despite the reduced cooldown, I think an extra shake it off is so much better. I don't personally agree with that, but you know, it is what it is, and he must have his reasons for doing that.
I like change, that's for sure. I mean, we're going to see change in 2 weeks, which I've neglected to mention that flipping Heart of Thorns is coming out in less than 2 weeks. 2 weeks, this past Friday, we are going to have a ton of work to do, my friend. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be pretty epic to see what new meta kind of starts to come out.
We've got like 2 days to see what's going to be happening. And that's the exciting part about it. It's like we have absolutely no idea. Nobody has any idea whatsoever what other teams are going to be running, what the meta is going to be running. It's going to be all over the place. Though I do think that tournament, that following Sunday, will set the pace for some of the meta builds to come in future tournaments.
It really does, man. It really will as well. It's going to be enjoyable to watch. Storm's going to go through these splits, guys. We've got 1-0 to Purple Noise versus Nay at the moment. Can they bring it back in this second game? They're going to have a bit of an uphill struggle, but we're going to see how it goes.
Now, taking a look at what we've got for the opening splits of both these teams, it looks like Honey going to be going to that home point for Purple Noise. 2 pushing to the home for Watch Me Nay. It looks like the Thief Mez, not the optimal duo to actually go for that home point. They are going to be under a lot of pressure, it looks like. It looks like Elementalist, excuse me, going to be looking for a 1v2 here. Going to get support from his Thief Mez as well, as they're going to be pressuring this in a 3v2 situation at the quarry.
Yeah, they really need to make sure, I was going to say, they need to make sure they get a kill, but they've both been downstated in the space of about 3 seconds on that engagement. Wow. So let's just leave that point because blue team have won. Over on the mid point we have Knight Jr. You know, he can kite around mid for as long as you want, and red team have been outnumbered there, and we're not going to see the engineer able to actually get anything out of this. He's going to try and tank over towards that henge node as well. He's not able to get on node probably quick enough. So we've got the 1v1 between also Honey here and also Raisin, so he's going to be able to sustain for long enough to potentially maybe get some help later on, but they really need to start clearing up. But Yuri going down.
These guys are coming out with fire here. Yuri absolutely demolished at the midpoint, as well as both that Thief Mez combo over at the quarry. It's just
Look at the
relentless
res.
here, and they get the rest. But despite that, the 2-cap, this is the exact same thing we saw at the beginning of the first game, and I anticipate the same thing to happen throughout the rest of the match.
I mean, now here, realistically, it would have been nice. There, they're doing it now. They're splitting over towards the side points. That's going to be where they're better off. They're going to be outnumbered now. At least they've got everyone on the map. Problem is, Raisin's gone down over towards this waterfall node as well. As we see the Mesmer coming in, trying to go for this res, and in the end, does get him up. A nice job from him. Raisin able back to almost full HP as well. They should be able to try and pick up some kind of kill here. We are going to see Baines coming in for the support as well. He's dropped the portal down on that waterfall node, and they're trying to pin him down. We've seen Swissing actually over on the henge going down as well, as we're seeing Shuck coming in for the +1 now. Red team are all over the shop at present. Can't get anywhere. Yuri really stuck, sandwiched between the thief there and the other.
He doesn't have any cantrips left. He's in a very difficult position. I mean, it's not like anyone from the blue team's trying to actively get him, but he's still in no position whatsoever to move into a huge team fight. And he does have respawns right now, so it looks like they're going to be opting to go for the mid node. At this state of the game, there's really nothing the red team should be doing at Graveyard right now. They should be all at that home node, regroup as a whole. The decap will come out from Swissing, but blue team is going to start to move over and make this a team fight near this quarry node, it looks like, or perhaps already taking down Rascal.
Yep.
There's absolutely no reason for red to be at the midpoint. They need a full regroup. They're down so much right now. Without a regroup, there's no way getting back into this game.
No, I mean, you're completely right. You know, they do need to have some kind of... Oh my god, we've seen Rascal going down again here, and we are going to see, still keeping the point at least sustained here. They weren't able to get the res once again on Rascal, the Mesmer on the red team now. July in a lot of trouble as well. He goes into vamp form. He needs to try and get out there as soon as possible. Nothing to give him any kind of mobility there, unfortunately, in the end. Goes down quick, so I didn't even see what weapon set it was in as well. With Swissing low HP as well over towards this side of the point, as he comes out with that throw elixir S stealth as well. Unfortunately, Yuri, July are downstated. Raisin over towards the waterfall, just standing with Honey because he's not really sure where to go. And that's where they are at the moment. The lead is extending.
That's kind of almost giving it up. He's just kind of standing at Rascal running into a wall right now. Not sure if that... Yeah, already the GG being called from Yuri there. So, you know, kind of predictable coming out from that last match, especially with, you know, a comp coming in for this red team. Kind of felt like a YOLO comp. They're just like, okay, our regular stuff didn't work on that match number 1. Let's play something else, see if we can do anything with it. Not even putting up a single point, though. Gotta hand it to Purple Noise for dominating those guys pretty handily.
Yeah, indeed. We've seen someone leave on this red team as well, even though they put #comeback in the chat. This is definitely a blue team game. We're just going to let them kill the Lords because the game has indeed definitely ended now, especially with the leave there on this map. So, Purple Noise going to pick up 2 games here in this first series of the ESL Go4GW2 Cup. They'll be going through to the quarterfinals. We have 9 teams, round of 16 today, as it will go into that. Obviously, because we had 1 above 8. But that is going to be the end of the game for these guys. So yeah, good stuff. GG's to the Purple Noise team. They win themselves a mini llama pet each. At the very least. They're
definitely hoping for more, but you know, going up against rank 55 Dragons, that is going to be much more difficult of a battle than what they just had in that last series. That didn't even seem like it challenged them much. Maybe a few falters on the first map, but probably just them being a little sloppy, not really caring too much. But going up against rank 55 Dragons, that will be another story on their end.
Yeah, they've lived this one before as well, and it has been tough. I mean, they've been doing, you know, quite well in their setup. They currently have a couple of players from Salt and whatnot as well. So it's actually been quite good to see them evolve and come back into the game. It's also going to be, you know, in 2 weeks, like I said before, what's going to change for these team members and the different builds and the different specializations that we're going to see coming in. It's going to be really exciting. I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to jump into a break, guys. We are hoping that we're going to bring you the next series very soon. We're either going to see this team versus Dragons, or we're going to go to Vermillion, possibly against maybe someone that you recognize. So we're going to come back fairly soon. Enjoy the new break screen. See you in a bit. Hello everyone, welcome back to the ESL Go4GW2 Cup number 50. Week number 50, of course, as well. But yeah, today we have with us Mr. Storm from the NA side of things. How are you today, sir? You alright?
I'm still doing fine. Just looking forward to this matchup. Hopefully, it's a little bit more interesting and closer than our last one. That was pretty much a blowout for the most part.
Yeah, this is the series pretty much when I saw the brackets that I was aiming to stream as well, because Vermillion obviously going through. Sorry, Vermillion had a bite in the last round, and Rusty. I was like, oh, who's this team? But now we can go into game and we can have a look because I'm going to go through the builds. And the first guy is the man himself. We have Freylina back from Orange Logo, who's playing on a team full of random people that I do know. And people I haven't really seen play together too much here. Lord Asura and Freylina I've seen play together before, of course. And then we're looking at who else is going to be on this team. So a couple of names you do remember, guys. So we're going to go through this build first. And it's going to be Freylina, of course. He's going to be going with the Fire Ellie, of course. And going for double dagger here with the Rune of the Monk. Not playing Vamp. Maybe out of the... Anyway, Sigil of Leeching there as well, as we see him playing Blinding Ashes, of course. Then we're going to go over to someone who has a name, and it's going to be Jock, because that's the easiest thing I'm going to say. And he's playing Signet Necro here as well, going with the Rune of Strength for the Celestial Amulet with the Staff, the Dagger, and the Off-Horn Warhorn here as well. And this is going to be a very tanky, very sustainable build. Going to be good versus the Ellies as well on this other side. So maybe, 1v1s, he could be fairly strong depending on who he is, because I don't know, because I don't know his account. So I'm not sure who this is exactly. I've got a couple of people in mind, but we are going to go over to Texby, of course, who's playing for TCG very closely along the side of Mr. Helseth. I'm not sure if I've seen him today, but we'll have to see later if he's on the team of Bring On Hot. But he's going to be playing Rifle, of course, going for Soldiers with the Rune of the Centaur there. So he's going to grab that swiftness on his heel. He's going to be going for Tools, Alchemy, and Explosives, of course. He's gone for Grenades. Can't go with Grenades. Can't have Grenades without that Explosives line and survivability over in Alchemy, as well as going for the Tools as well. So he's gone for Lock-On, and he's gone for Centaur Rune to grab his swiftness and movement speed. Lord Asura now, he's going to be playing Dagger Elementalist as well, going for the Monk Rune, Celestial Amulets, and also Leeching there with the Fire line, of course, as well, going for the Blinding Ashes, a sustain there as well coming out from him. And then we've got another Necrostorm. Wow, this is like the team of tank.
to be honest, I didn't know Necromancers existed on European servers. So
well, they don't.
They don't. So yeah, I only thought there was like 3 on NA, and that was it. I didn't know that you guys even had them. So very interested to see how they perform.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is just... we have told them they can go when ready. The thing is, I think in EU, sometimes they just think that we have to tell them to go sometimes. They can go where they want. But yeah, if you want to go over the blue team very quickly, I think we might be...
Yeah, I kind of want to briefly hash over a couple of these builds. Interesting, to say the least, from a couple of these guys. Nothing crazy from esports, it's just DDLE. Actually, it is crazy. He is running Earth. With Diamond Skin, but that can kind of be justified given the fact he's going up against two Elementalists, 2 Necromancers, and an Engineer. I mean, that's justified. Another thing I want to point out, Trifon going to be running Pack Runes, kind of justified as well because there's not a whole lot of burst damage, so Vamp Runes really aren't essential to that build. But for the most part, that Diamond Skin can prove to probably be very useful for this blue team.
Yeah, RG with Marauder's Centaur there, NG, and we've got the Sharkbow Warrior, of course, with Alcohol, who I was speaking about before. Have a look at these splits coming out now. We're going to see Esports is going to cross versus Jock and also Lord Asura there, who's probably going to try and tank on point. But we're going to see Trifon and also RG going for that burst damage early on onto that red team member of Jock, of course. He's going to have a bit of trouble here getting onto node. He's a bit separated from the Elementalist as well. Freylina over on towards mid now as well with Tonslands versus Alcor, just who's going to be sustaining over on that point. Jock is very close to going down here. Definitely didn't want to pull out the Plague Form. Not sure we're going to see a res here from Lord Asura either. And he has been Morphomed. Good job from the blue team pulling out the throw Elixir X from RG, of course. He's going to get the early kills there on those guys.
Yeah, he got a rampage from that Elixir X. So lucky for him to help get out a lot more physical damage. But they're going to be, kind of migrating towards that midpoint where we saw Tons actually leave that hinge point, outnumbered there, already lost a couple members, going to head to the mid, try and help out Freylina, who's in a 1v1 against Alcor, but it's going to be a 2v2, possibly a 3v2 as we see Snowball looking to come back up towards this midpoint and take a 2-cap for themselves. A very slim lead. Actually, Snowball not going to opt for the 2v2. Going to go help over at the mine and try and even out that fight.
Yeah, indeed. I've just been informed, and one of the people who I thought it was going to be on who were playing these Necros indeed was the man. I believe it's Draze and Karzez. Now, those two guys haven't been playing too much in the Guild Wars 2 competitive scene, but Draze and Karzez are two of the definitely top tier players that I've been looking forward to seeing coming back, and we are seeing people coming back into the scene and getting back to the practicing ready for HOT, of course, and what's going to be coming with that we do not know yet, but it's very exciting and really good to see those guys coming back. Obviously Draze, probably one of the best multi-class players in the game, in maybe even both regions. I'm comfortable saying that because he's just a ridiculously good player. Kaze is very, very awesome as well. We're going to see Tonslins going down over towards mid, and one of those guys unfortunately is him, but unfortunately not able to bring it out at the moment. RG has to go into Elixir S proc there as well. Just gets a little bit of extra damage, but they've won this fight over on the mid.
Yeah, we saw TechSP actually head over to the Henge, get the decap, going to be a 1v1 against Alcor. Despite that, blue team are going to clean up shop over at Keep. While Red did manage to get the cap over the mine, still in a 2v2 over there. They just need to hold on, play defensively, play passively if you really need to, because you hold the point, don't really need to get over aggressive. But Jock actually under a whole lot of pressure to see Lord Azura is going to be able to keep him alive. As Frey does finally get taken out at the midpoint, going to be able to help him off respawn if he so wants to. But despite that, Argineer actually going to plus this fight, take out Jock over here at the mine point. Are they going to? I don't think he's going to be able to get that res. Too much downstate pressure coming out from the blue team. Despite that, Red's still holding on to this point.
I'd like to see more damage coming out from Red for sure. I mean, just a thief would be so much more useful in terms of their utility around the map. I bet blue team can't believe what's going on as well at the moment, although they've been doing a fantastic job recently. Some of these guys are really underrated and haven't really been given the opportunity to get too far in our scene, of course, as well. Tonzlan's trying to do something, trying to get the res here. TechSP going down as well over towards this Henge point, and we are going to see Red team's really struggling at this point to try and come back into this game. 2-cap against them, of course, with the contestation over on this mine, and Red team can sustain for a long time, and if they draw blue team into a team fight, which is going to be, you know, sustainable, they will start to lose bodies. But the thing is, Tons has been focused here as well. We're going to see himself and moves back over towards this point here.
Yeah, blue team is 4v5 at this current point in time. Alcor is just kind of roaming around, just checking if anybody's going to come. He finally gets a number count, going to head over to this point. They actually get the stomp on Tons in the 4v5 that favor the red team. Very good execution from this blue team right now as they continue to pick up these kills. Now Jock under so much pressure, so is Freylina. They are both, actually Jock does get taken down. Frey might make it out alive. Going to go around and try and heal himself up. Lord Azura now under a whole lot of pressure. Blue team need to back off. Watch for the people peeling out of these nodes as well as respawns. So we see Tons already heading over to the Henge. That is definitely a free decap for him.
Yeah, indeed. Wondering if Freylina is just going to come to mid and try and get the extra damage there as well. I mean, the problem here is their rotations are going to be so slow now. And they've got the Elementalists, of course, and they've got the Fiery Great Swords, but they're on cooldown. Actually, Lord Azura does have his up at present. They need to start winning these skirmishes, and you know, they just blue team are +1ing in really, really nice positions at the moment. We are going to see RG just guarding that mine node now as well, but we should see red team maybe try and outnumber here. But we can see maybe 2v1 here over on this mine start to come out, which is actually going to be pretty good. So RG obviously running that Marauders versus these two members as TechSP can get the control down, and we can see the Necro putting a ton of conditions.
Oh, nobody stayed around to look for Freylina sitting behind the keep. Gonna easily get that decap. Esports coming back to 1v1 him. That will be an indefinite 1v1. That's just gonna go on forever. Meanwhile, we did see Triff actually plus the fight at the Henge. Tons forced to play, gonna get out of there. So we're gonna see that cap come out for the blue team, who are capless right now, but look to clean up the sides in the near future here.
Oh, Triffin gets knocked back there. Good job from TechSP. Comes in, straight away takes him out. Snowball coming in for the res. Is he going to be able to get it? It's so close. The cleave is good from the team, and they put down that Moa form as well. And that looks like a good job from TechSP to try and potentially stop this res from happening. I'm very paranoid that he's been left in the wind there. Still with a little bit of HP. I don't think anyone's going to res him though, and we probably might see a decap here for red. They're getting the decaps, mate, but they're not able to really solidify caps in their favour. They're still having gain points for a good few minutes here. 4 decap across the map as well.
Yeah, it looks like red team only 1 tick away from getting the cap at the mine. If Jock can fear him off, or nice updraft from Lord Azura. It actually seems like you know, they wanted to get this one, but it's still going to be a very long 2v2. No team seemingly making progress. Over at the Henge, though, Snowball was actually taken out by Texby and Taunt, so red team going to claim that cap for themselves, despite a Thief Trifon going to be coming off a respawn for the blue team. Red team going to actually get the first 2 cap of the game, trying to make, you know, try to get back into this game. It's an uphill battle, down almost 200 points, but they definitely can do it if they keep up this pressure on all 3 points.
I'm a bit sorry to Blue, because just as I say they're not able to come back into the game, they come back into the game. And it all started with that kill on the Thief, actually, over towards that Henge node. They could 2-1 over towards that Henge, and they can move back into the map. The Thief didn't come over towards the Henge point as well. So Blue team now have actually been with 4 players for a little bit of time here. So now they have to try and come back and win these skirmishes. And red team have really got a good rotation coming in order here. Unfortunately, no one was watching that mine point, so Trifin's easily going to get the decap there. He might even just go towards mid now, although Snowball's coming in the, to +1 as well that, but with Texby coming in closely from behind. Blue team still not got a cap as red team slowly but surely start to pull back.
They're edging their way back into this game, and if they can keep all 5 members up and healthy around the map here, they should be able to do just that, despite that taunt at the midpoint getting kind of low. Needs to be very careful, doesn't have any cooldowns left. It's like a bit of Shroud able to keep him alive for the time being. Trying to put some pressure down on esports, but it is going to be able to get a decap. Excuse me, blue team going to get a decap, and Argineer heading over to Henge can easily get that one for his team.
No, unfortunately not. Yes, indeed, Flash was already used, so Lord of Sorrow not able to get on node, but you probably give him it in the end as well, unless RG can really lock him down and put down a ton of damage. But you know, that is Snowball. And Triffin over here, over towards the mine node as well. Actually, we can see the Elixir X throw onto Snowball. Though we do see the point coming out. Texby pulls out the Marauder X, sorry, the Elixir X there to try and get the res on Jock. Actually risks it and loses the node now. That's very precarious. He didn't have a heal up as well, so that was very risky. I'm not sure about that res there.
I didn't like that, especially with 2 members there that were going to be able to provide plenty of cleave, being a Thief and a DD Elliott. I didn't like that res attempt, and he gave up the point on top of that, and is now 50% HP, especially with Taunts going to be taken down, quite possibly forced to Plague at about 8,000 health. Not going to be able to stay alive for too long, but they are getting back into this one, down only over 100 points right here. We'll have to see. It looks like Freylina, or excuse me, Lord of Zero going to be able to get the full cap at the Henge, force out Argineer from that point. Despite that, Blue does get the cap over at the mine in process.
Yeah, cap a piece at the moment. Mid's where all the action will be. Also in Road, we've got the Necro Jock of, pardon me, of course, and the actual 2 Ellies are just starting to just hold a bit. They're aware that the Necro is coming off respawn, so they just have to watch for his positioning to see where he's going to go. If we go over towards mid now, we can see most progress on this point at the moment is going to be blue team. No significant damage coming onto blue other than the Thief who pulls up the Shadow Refuge. Triven just down below. And red team not actually looking after their nodes that they're getting at the moment as well. That's just easily at least the 2nd decap that RG's got, if not more actually in this game already.
Yeah, blue team really seems to be outnumbering the red team in a lot of these fights, and really what's giving them this lead that they're continuing to make get it bigger and bigger throughout this, the game as a whole. It's just like the red team. I like their comp because it can deal with some of these members of the blue team, but they're really not using it to its full effectiveness, especially with esports. I mean, like I pointed out earlier, he's running that diamond skin, but that doesn't matter as a whole. You get past that 90% threshold, and you're okay to do whatever you want for the most part. I really wish they would just, keep up with the rotations to the blue team, but really seemingly not doing that for most of this match here.
And also, it's like in these fights, the blue team, they're not being pulled into such a big fight on the node, They're being patient. They're trying to pull them off node, then chucking someone on point every so often when red team actually come off the node, because they've got a little bit more mobility than them, unless, the elements of this obviously have big cooldowns. We can see a nice pull from Texby, actually, which really saves Jock over on mid. 2.5k, he's in Shroud at the moment. 7, quite a lot of burning, but he does get rid of that in the end. Some condition cleanse coming out there. Of course, esports just thinking about going back into Earth there, and we are going to see that Jock's still in a little bit of trouble here. This is staff abilities, of course, as well as Plague coming back up. He is going to be immobilized here, though, as well. Needs to be very, very careful. Triffin comes in with a ton of damage. Takes him down still about 10% or 15% HP. We are going to see Jock go down in the end.
If he had swapped to staff and gotten his condies off earlier, he might still be alive right now. But that no rest, not even going to be close to happening. Frey not even in the area on the other side of this point. So we're going to see the cap at the keep. Still going to be contested by both teams here, but it looks like Frey looking to go over to the mine where the decap came out from Texby, who's going to be the one going against esports. On the other end of the map, though, Triffin will be able to get the decap at the hedge, so going to be trading decaps here.
Yeah, Frey knows it. They don't know where the thief is. If the thief is, if you can't see the thief and he's not on respawn, he's decapping you, and that's exactly what was happening. So yeah, we have seen that coming out as well. Red team, we need. I really feel like even if it was just a thief. Out of anything, just, you know, exponentially, their mobility-wise, their burst damage, they'd be able to pick off people like RG, you know.
And when I say I like this comp, I like certain aspects of it. We don't see double Necro often, and Necro is sought to be somewhat of a counter in a way to DD Ellies. So for the most part, at least on North America it is. And like I said earlier, I don't see a whole lot of Necros on EU. But, you know, Red Team, a 2-cap right now, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. They have to hold on to this if they want to win this game. Otherwise, the clock's going to run out, and it's going to be too late for them.
I mean, another reason is, you know, Necro was so out of the meta. Nos was pretty adamant about playing Necro, right, for so long in the NA scene, whereas we didn't really have that in EU. We didn't really have a consistent full-on Necro player. I can remember like 2 or 3 guys, but still we barely saw them.
Yeah, and we see Nas consistently 1v1s and DDLs, so that's why I do say that. But esports
definitely a counter.
Getting the decap at the mine point, so the 2-cap not lasting very long for the Red Team, and that's what they needed. 2 minutes left in the game. I don't see them taking this one. It's just gonna. I don't think either team's gonna hit 500 points.
And let me just recap what I just say. I didn't mean to say it's definitely a counter. It's a counter if you can play it well. Because there's a difference between DD Ellie and playing a Signet Necro well and using that condition cleanse. Trust me. And I'm awful at Necro. But, you know, don't base it off my play. You see the banner coming out there as well. Blue team still able to sustain. 1 minute 40 seconds. Red team have come back. But unfortunately, there's not 20-minute games. These are 15 minutes. And they can sustain all they like. But if they're not going to get the caps and they're not going to get the kills, they're not going to be able to come back into these games. So next matchup, we're going to have to see something consistently really change for these guys. Mobility, burst damage.
Oh, look at the health pools for Red, though. Azura's down, Tons is down, Texby under so much pressure. Elixir S pop for him. He has Triffin all over him. Going to be taken down as well. That will very well be game, as Frey is the last standing member of this Red team. With 1 minute left to go, with all 4 members down here, there is absolutely no way they're getting back into this game. And I think we're going to see Vermillion take game number 1 here.
Jeez. Vermillion doing a good job. Nice to see these guys really doing a fantastic job in our scene at the moment, and I've been looking forward to seeing this team week after week just improving as well. They've actually improved a ton, and Triffin might be cheekily ending this game on a free cap as well. Now that's a statement to make versus this team of very, very high-end top-tier players of Red. Of course, there is the fact that, you know, just because you're top tier doesn't mean you're going to win. You still have to play in a team that you're playing with consistently, with good communication. Of course, they are probably playing to see where they can get to in this cup as well. There's a few guys coming back.
They're going for Chieftain too, so...
Oh, nice.
With the 3-cap, no kills, they win the game at 500. But going to get Chieftain here, so that will be very close to 500 here. Not quite.
Come on, guys. Sorry up. You know you want to get close to... You want to get that other boss kill as well. We actually see the clock take the game instead of Vermillion. And we see 490 to 251. Not a horrible game for the Red team, but really they were losing a lot of decaps. They didn't really have the mobility that they really could have done with, to be honest, to make sure those decaps didn't happen. And the Thief versus Thief search, which we do like to see as well, of course. And, you know, we didn't really have a Mesmer in there either. So I'm looking at Drazir here and Karzez to go into a Thief Mesmer combination with the rest of their team.
Especially on this map, I really don't think what they just ran is going to work here, especially. So seeing something else, you know, maybe keeping a Necro might not be a bad idea, but I really don't like that, especially on this map. Really going to lack that mobility. And Triffin is just going to run all over them with decap after decap. Like we saw in that last game, it's going to be a horrible ending for the Spread team. If they don't change anything up, you know, like you said, they did a good job last game, but it felt like they were just on a nice edge for most of that game. They really weren't going anywhere with it. It had a couple nice 2-caps, but the team really cleaned up some of their mistakes and took that game pretty easily at the end there.
It's interesting to see. We have seen a lot of changes coming out as well. This is a better team comp for many reasons. We have mobility, we have stealth, we have portals, we have, we have Frey on Warrior. Oh wow, okay, we're gonna have to go over that build. Let's start again. Let's start again, Storm. Let's just start from the top.
I don't know. This is a much better comp as a whole. I think like that last one is kind of like, okay, let's see if we can do something weird with this comp. But this one is a much more well-rounded comp. I really like this one.
Drazier on Mesmer is just awesome to see as well. Okay, so let's go over tech speed. Soldiers still, we're going for Pack there. Going for, oh wow, Inventions. That is really tanking him up even more. But he's going to be obviously changed his rune to Pack there. Still got some swiftness. We've got the mecha legs as well for the extra speed. And less, of course. Oh wow, we've got an automated medical response. Now, Inventions, I've always thought that Inventions is so strong as a line in terms of just getting that extra heal. It's just really, really nice to have. And it's really, really tanky. Especially you go Inventions and Alchemy, you already know that that guy's going to be tanky, even if he's running not such a tanky amulet. Lord Asura going for the Fire line. DD, of course, going for the Rune of the Monk. Karzer's going to be playing DP Thief, more than likely with Pack and Marauder there with Shadow Arts, of course, as well. We're going to see Frey. He's going to be going for Strength, Defense, and Discipline. Wow, my mouse is going a little bit insane here. And he's going to be running, oh yeah, Frenzy. Loving the Frenzy Storm. Really,
Frenzy
really good.
It's a fun utility to watch and see how, especially with Axe Shield. It's really helps, especially in those team fights, especially with that down cleave. It's insane on top of the Mesmer and the Thief.
And we had the buff on the shield as well, of course. We got the extra stun duration of 1 second.
Yep.
And we got, that's quite a big buff, really. I mean, if you can get the stun off. And also, Frenzy not only good for doing a ton of damage, but also for using that for res utility as well. So don't forget about that. Berserker starts an Endure Pain as well as Signet Rage there as well with the Rune of the Pack, like we just said. And let's have a look at Drazier. He's going to be playing on Mesmer. Just went over this very briefly. He's going for Rune of the Centaur, actually, very interestingly enough. Makes some sense with that heal, of course. But he's going into Inspiration. And this is a line we've kind of seen here and there. We're going for Restorative Illusions as well. And going for Phantasmal Defender there. But still going for Deceptive Evasion, of course. Mental Anguish. So no PU in here. Shared Concentration. This is going to be an interesting build to watch as well. And Drazier is one of those players I love watching on Mesmer, so interesting to see what he does with this Inspiration line. We've seen Mesmer's popping in and out of these different lines as well recently.
I know when I see it on North America, it's basically 1, maybe 2 Mesmers that'll be running mantras with the Inspiration line. Sometimes running with the Sword Focus, or Sword Torch, excuse me. Sometimes with the Staff. Interesting to see that, though, without the PU. Very interesting. Despite its nerf, we still do see a lot of Mesmers running PU for the most part. Yeah,
it's very true. I mean, some of the great things about this is this Inspiring Distortion, which I really like. They grant distortion to nearby allies when you give yourself distortion. For res utility, it's really, really nice. I really, really like that at depths. And we've got, of course, different traits in here as well. Phantasmal Defender, also very, very, very useful. But we are just waiting for these guys to come back out. And just interested to see how well he's going to cope with that stuff. We've got the lack of extra stuff, sorry. We would normally see. Karzer's as well. I'm really happy to see these guys back, man. I can't say that enough. Let's ready up.
I wish Frey would run some Rampage right now and Berserker Amulet. Rampage is so good. And
it's beautiful to
Marauder
cast,
gives
right?
you a little bit more, health there as well. But I don't know, Berserker Amulet, you're a warrior. Just go man mode. Just go all out. It's so devastating, especially with the Rampage. You have to always account for it. But Frey going to be running Signet instead, unfortunately.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if these are definitely going to be the builds that come out in the end, and it looks like that is going to be the case. I haven't checked to see if anything's changed on the other side. I doubt it. RG's still going with Marauders there, as well as Triffin. Definitely probably not going to change. Sharpbow still will be played by Alcor. Storm's going to go through these splits in our second of this series. Can Rusty come back into this game with a complete comp mix-up?
Snowball going to be going for that waterfall. So a pretty much identical home point push for both these teams, but actually identical push as a whole for both these teams.
God.
Both going to be avoiding the graveyard here. Both look like to be stealthing up and push heavy to those far nodes. Very interesting to see. And now they're both peeling back to the graveyard. The identical split essentially coming out for both these teams.
It's because Snowball is waiting on the top side of Waterfall there, which is really, really great. And we see this happens a lot in the EU with the top teams, especially on this map. They really, really slug out. They hold for that initial push. If they don't know where the teams are, they're expecting burst on far or even on mid. So they're just waiting. And we actually see Red Team pick up the first amount of burst onto esports. He does go into the down state here, and he's still in vapor form, but we are going to see maybe potentially Alcor is thinking about maybe going for a little bit of a res here. But we saw an easy free res coming out as they were trying to get the focus onto Alcor. They lost it.
There's no contention whatsoever for that res. And both teams actually claiming cap for themselves, Waterfall being the only uncapped node here. It's just a huge skirmish off points. Neither of these teams really fighting. They're just on the roads right here. Kaze actually taken into the down state. A lot of cleave coming out there from Arjunier and Tiffin. There's no way they're getting him back up, and now they're going to have the numbers advantage to try and take this mid node for themselves. Yeah,
Blue Team are really homing down on Lord Asura now. Tries to get the updraft, actually goes back in for extra damage. Probably going to use Armor Reversed quite shortly if he doesn't get any more survival, and unfortunately goes down towards that midpoint. And really not killing esports was the end of it for them there over on that point. But Snowball needs to die here for them to really pick anything up from this. They still do have the 2 gap, but the thing is they're losing members now. And because of that very fact, we are going to have to see Red Team even think about trying to spread out players here over towards mid. But Arjunier goes down, and that's really good. They've still got the 2 cap as well, and they're going to go for the down, distortion down, but he's interrupted. Whoa. Massive amount of damage comes out from Drazir. And we're going to see Tripping taken out here as well. Stun comes out onto Drazir as well. I'm still in Drazir because really he's doing a ton of cleave. A good job though. They're still not able to get the kill. And only just seeing Red Team members respawn as Snowball goes for the decap over on Waterfall.
Yeah, this fight is kind of even itself back up. Triffin actually under a whole lot of pressure. Has Shadow Refuge up. Nice pull coming out there from, I believe that was TechSpeed. Not going to take him out though. Going to stealth right back up. Draza is under a whole lot of pressure here as they try to get on top of esports, who is able to get out here just okay. But on the midpoint, Arjunier actually taken into the downstate. We see Shadow Refuge. I believe that was coming out there from Triffin, trying to get him back up. But
classic.
He is actually out of there.
Oh, the banner didn't bring RG up. Too much poison down, but that's a really good tactic that comes out from Vermillion. They put down the Shadow Refuge, so they can't really target Alcor for like single target interrupts. They have to have AoE, of course. And that's a really, really, you know, to the fact that he can get those banners off. He got it up, he got him up some HP, enough to res him. So not wasted there because they did get him up indeed. RG next big target here, but unfortunately Jack, who is indeed Drazzy, is going to go into the down state. Nice! Oh, Elixir X throw again from RG, and he always reminds me of that chafe play from WTS when we saw that epic
I know which one you're talking about. Kaze was taken down in the midst of that as well. And I believe we're going to see the 2 cap come out here for the blue team
as well.
No contention whatsoever, but yes, a DC coming out there, unfortunately. But even so, blue team holding on to the 2 cap quite handedly. They won that fight without the DC, it felt like. Did an excellent job that game. Now putting heaps of pressure over on the waterfall. Lord Azura, it's going to be under so much pressure here in a 1v3 situation. And more than likely going to be taken out, giving a 3 cap to the blue team. Very unfortunate, though, that we're going to have a DC coming out here for red.
Yeah, now we're going to see blue team get at least 100 points back on the board while red team try and respawn and regroup. Text be downstated as well as Lord Asura. Frey coming back into the game now as well. Means that we are going to have issues for red team really coming back and able to stamp their claim on this game.
He's back in the game.
Yeah,
it is back in this game, but you know it's such a hard thing to come back from. They are going to have to pull something out of their
Frey doesn't seem to think so.
And I mean, it's not like it can't happen, but it is difficult given the situation. Down 150 points, being 3 capped, and they're going for the hardest node in the game to actually establish themselves at, to actually win a fight and clean up.
it feels like a bit of all or nothing as well, actually. Triffin gets the stealth back into mid, picking up his target. Going to be going for Drezza here. It almost gets caught out, but walks away. We can see him backing off with that short bow now as well as he comes back onto the midpoint. You're going to see the Mesmer portal coming out as well as they go over towards Waterfall. It was all Dukes. They're going for a bit of a rush here over towards this Waterfall point. We saw the decap happening back over on the quarry. Red team are actually separating them out across the map. This is actually quite clever, but still not able to get a cap in their favour. Good distraction tactic maybe for the quarry, but they need to end this quickly. Waterfall is so good. I feel like they should have gone Quarry Storm.
Yeah,
Waterfall
they probably should have. It really would have benefited them. And now that they're at the Waterfall, it's going to essentially benefit the blue team because the respawns are closer. Not that they wouldn't have the full cap on any of the nodes. But ultimately, I said it was like a 150-point lead, now 250-point lead before they actually get a decap at the Waterfall. And now they really have to get something going on the other points. Really have to take the advantage of killing Snowball there and get going here. Otherwise, it's going to be the end of the series for them.
They need to move right onto the midpoint right now. They need decaps. They've only got one tick or so. Now, of course, chasing over towards the quarry now. They could have chucked someone on node onto the midpoint just to get a cheeky decap. But the thing is, they're just circling around there to keep them. Druzzy, Kazes is going to get it. If it goes out of stealth, you just need the decap to give yourself some more time. He's still stealthed. Oh, they get the decap there as well. And that's a good job from the Elementalist as well. Just pulling Alcor away, fearing the decap. And now they need to get someone on that decap duty on Quarry.
A very good play. You have to give credit to the red team. Good recovery for the most part. Most teams more than likely would not have been able to get out of that situation. I mean, not that they're back in the game, but they're out of the 3 cap and trying to get a decap. Frey in a 1v1 against Snowball might actually win this matchup. Already has him down to about 40% HP. Getting the cap at the Waterfall is really going to help them. Snowball only one tick away from getting this decap.
Oh, nice! Oh, no!
He was off the point! How did that decap not happen? He updrafted himself off the point, and the decap didn't come out there. I am very confused,
that must have been less time than it takes to decap. That is reactions. That is reactions.
They're doing a great job of trying to get themselves back into the game, not letting the DC get to them. Most teams would have given in to that DC, saying, "Oh, good game, it's over. Let's not even try." They're legitimately trying to get back into this game. You got to give them props for that.
Tex be going down there, and Karzez probably is going to be the end of this. Red team do pick up the single cap, but blue team pick up the other cap on the other side of the map, of course, grabbing themselves Waterfall and Dreze. Really, blue team are going to collapse on this position. They're in an outnumbered place, but they want to try and keep it contested to try and come back. Red team are not going to give up, man, like you said, and it's no props to these guys for trying to come back into this game when it's such an uphill struggle, especially after getting that early DC in the game, which really seems to have affected them quite hard, but not affected their morale because they're still giving a bash. We've actually seen
that portal from Shiraza. About 3 Azurans there outside of the point. Gonna be taken out regardless. Kaza not gonna be taken out as well as blue team looking to wipe up the rest of this red team at this point. Esports heading out from this midpoint. Gonna be able to get a free decap at the court, but on the other side of things, it looks like Lord Azura is able to do the same at the Waterfall.
Yeah, that's probably definitely game at the moment, unless Red Team really pulls something extremely significant out of their back pocket, and potentially a secret pocket that nobody knows anything about. As we go back over to this Waterfall node, whose Lord Asura is now going to be 1v3, but no, we do have Frey on the side as well. We managed to survive that disengage over from the midpoint, so nice to see him back again as well, which is definitely something I needed to say. And Triffin trying to back off as Kaza is doing a good job at just trying to take him 1v1 off point. But Red Team not feeling like they really could come back in. They had some potential moments, like you said earlier. Not able to really just come back after that DC.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but even so, blue team going to be holding on to the cap at the quarry. Should be able to ride that out for the rest of the game. I mean, at this point, blue team could do anything they wanted to and still get this. Such an uphill battle, down 300 points here. Red team trying to get the cap over here at the Waterfall. Looks like Argineer going to be on the point with a couple ticks left to go here. As they're still 3v2ing, barely holding on. Now looks like Triffin's going to come make it a 3v3, even out the fight over here at the Waterfall.
Triffin is one of these players that is just... He hasn't been in the scene for that long, and like as a you know, a main person that you'd focus in the games, but he's really becoming someone who is going to be really someone that we hype up so much more in the future. I feel like this team and this guy in particular are just going to be massive pretty soon in the scene as well. Triffin is just really, really underrated. Such a good player. And so many of these guys are. This blue team is doing a fantastic job. At the moment, they're owning face on this map. And they're going to go 2-0 versus Rusty. This is quite a, you know, significant amount of skill and, you know, knowledge in the game of Guild Wars 2 on this red team. I'm actually kind of surprised.
Still trying to get back into this one. Making a push
they really
with
are.
a mid-node drop shot. Does get taken down there by, I believe, those Argineer. Frey not looking too healthy himself either, as Kaza doesn't have a Shadow Refuge if he wants to throw it down because he already used it coming into the node. Lord Azure going in for the res, not going to be able to get it. We saw Frey's actually taken out as well. 2 members down for this red team. More than likely not going to be able to get those guys back up into the fight. Just giving this blue team a few more points as they edge closer to this victory.
More than likely is definitely correct. That full day down state. Come on, just will him back up. You can do it! Although Lord Asura is being bounced around a lot on their corpses. Maybe there's something that we don't know about. But anyway, back over towards this quarry now as well. We have seen that the point is contested, but really this is over. They've got the mid cap. We've got 25 points only left. Red team really not giving up. Not at all. And like I said, you know, it's different being really, really quality single players. But if you haven't played much as a team and you're just, some of these guys are just coming back to the game, even after a month's break, because Guild Wars 2 is, you know, in terms
it's
of PvP,
tough. Even a couple days, it's very tough. And I think it's
so true,
the
right?
complexity and basically the complexity of the combat system as a whole. You know, getting used to it. But yeah, even a couple days of being out of it is. It's going to take a little bit for you to get back into it. But the victory coming out there for Vermillion, taking that quite easily, despite a DC coming out there for the red team. GG to both of those guys.
For sure. Shout out to Alcor. Okay, so we are going to go back to a break. We're going to bring you the next series. Let's just jump back into cameras.
Do we think we can beat Orange Logo? We're going into this tournament thinking we're going to win it, and we're very confident.
And we have our first team in the WTS Cologne. It is going to be TCG.
Why we're going to win? Well, because there's always going to be a difference between peasants and kings.
I couldn't have timed that much better on the video, and you don't know what I mean because it's delayed. But literally, Helsef comes in with his phrase, and we have Helsef playing in the next game, in the next series. That's just RNG for you, mate. So how are you doing today, Storm? Are you enjoying the EU side of things?
I am. We got 2 more matchups, and I think they're progressively getting more and more exciting, especially this next match. Vermillion against Bring On Hot. Definitely some known names for both these teams, so really looking forward to this matchup we have.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, I was literally saying to you while we were just on the break that this is like a mini dream team of mine as well. Kind of people I would love to see play again together, as well as also just playing together, as well as, you know, 2 of our, you know, top end Mesmers both playing Mesmer. Let's go into the game and you can actually understand what we're talking about. And I'm going to change the scoreboard. Why not? I only had like 5 minutes to do that. Fail. But yeah, it's good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to come out from both teams, especially with 2 Mesmers. I mean,
yeah,
how do you feel about that?
That is something you don't see often by any means. Usually maybe
even
Thief
on an
Mesmer, Thief no Mesmer. Maybe I think we see a Mesmer without a Thief more than we see double Mesmer. So
yeah,
honestly, it's very, especially with both running Portal, they could create some very interesting plays with double MOA on these guys. I am looking forward to the havoc these guys can wreak throughout the this series here.
It's going to be pretty epic. We're going to go through this red team first of all and see exactly what they're coming out with, because maybe they're going to be playing some different builds, which itself will be very interesting. So we're going to go Great Sword Staff with Helseth. They're going for the Rune of Strength with Marauders, and he's going into Illusions here, so he's going for Compounding Power, and he's going to be going for also Shattered Strength, so he's going to be grabbing some Might, of course. Good synergy with that Strength rune as well, and he's going for Ineptitude. He's also going for Domination and Dueling here. He's going for Deceptive Evasion, you know, kind of standard really with that, and then going for Power Block as well. So we're just looking. It's going to be interesting to see what. Frostpool's right at the end. That's unfortunate. Anyway, we're going to go over to Sage. He's going to be playing Bunker Guardian, and he's actually gone for. Now, last week he played Bunker Guardian, and he's gone off of Feel My Wrath there. He's got it back up now, but they did increase the cooldown of that ability, which was the reason why I felt. I don't know why I feel like it was supposed to be more than that, but you know,
it is. He is running the shouts reduction.
Reduction, yeah. So 36 seconds is just a weird number now because I so got used to seeing the the cooldown we had before, which was significantly less. But he's going for the standard build here. He's going for Mace with the shield though, which is what he uses, and going for the staff, of course. RG is on the wrong team. Minishi, what's he doing? Stop being that person. DD Elementalist going for the Rune of the Monk there as well, with Celestial going for Blinding Ashes, of course. And then we're going to go over to Frostpool, have a look at his build. He's going into Illusions there as well, going for Compounding Power, main the Dissolutions with that Torment, and also going for an Ineptitude. But he's going for Marauder with the Rune of the Pack rather than Strength, which is what we saw on Helseth. So he's going Portal, Blink, Decoy, and Mower. And Helseth is going for Portal, Blink, Decoy, and Mower. In exactly the same order, may I add.
Those guys must be working on their keybinds together or something.
Something. But yeah, it should be quite interesting to see, and it would be nice if RG move that word. Okay, so it's going to be really, really good to see who we've got in here finally. Let's go into the scoreboard and see who we're waiting for. It was Curve as well, yes, that's right. So normally DD Elementalist, maybe going with the Monk. Again, I think we're seeing the old lack of Vampiroon here, Mr. Storm.
Well, I think they might have agreed not to use it again, or maybe something along those lines. But it's not.
Ooh.
I don't know. Both teams that we've seen. I mean, we followed Vermillion here, or we saw them in the last match. They agreed not to use it, if I'm not mistaken, and they did just fine without him. We'll have to see if it's going to make any difference. If we're going to see, if we see anybody just get 100-0 gimped, then you think Vampiroons might have helped them there. But we'll have to see here. Interesting not to use them.
It's for money as well,
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's not like this is.
It's amazing.
Everything. This isn't like a WTS or a monthly on the line here. This is a weekly, but still, even at that, it's still something to.
Still 80 euros to potentially say goodbye to. I mean, still.
And I don't think Vampiroons are going to, unless it's 499 to 500. I don't think Vampiroons are going to change that. I think if a team of this caliber is good enough, and the other team is also agreeing not to use them, I think it's still an even matchup in that sense.
Okay, then that is the word from the teams. Little couple of changes. We've seen esports going with the Rune of Svanir, whether or not we have seen that rune coming out as well. Chill is so strong. And we don't see that utilised so much. We can see another Svanir rune coming out onto Snowball as well. So
double Rune of the Monk on the side of Bring On Hot.
When we had the Vampiroon ban, we saw Rune of the Monk played a lot. It was that Holbrook or Rune of Strength, and also we saw a couple of different people bringing in random stuff as well. So it is interesting to see, how much that actually changes things up. I mean, let's go over to Minishi. Yeah, we got exactly double Monk and then double Svanir. Who's gonna win? Who's the chill team or the HP team?
So weird. This is just.
They don't need it. I mean, the thing is, like, if you're the blue team and you're running with Monk, right? I mean, you've got so much healing. You've got the support of the Bunker and Warrior as well. But still, I mean, red teams do have a Bunker Guardian. So it's like, is that Monk rune too much? They just want the sustain. It's going to help Helseth and Frostball so much, though. That's the thing as well. they can just go full on. Frostball getting taken out by the attractive llama finisher there, as we are waiting for these guys to ready up and get their butts moving. Ready up with a smiley face. Let's see if that works. Anyway, we are very happy to see you guys coming in to watch the ESL Go4GW2 Cup. Let's check it up to 1K viewers. We have an English cast, a French cast, a German cast, and a Chinese cast today. So we have well over 1K people watching this tournament, but in various languages. So if you would prefer to watch it in a different language, you have that option to do so. If you want to scrub up on your language skills, you can do that, and you have the choice to do so as well. So it's nice to see those guys coming out today. We have Waffle over on the French side of things. We have Sputty and also Moa on the German side of things. Chris Becker playing, going for the Chinese cast. I believe he's solo today as well. So nice to see these guys casting. Pretty. How hyped on the scale of 1 to 10 are you for the Heart of Thorns launch, Storm?
Very hyped. I think the biggest thing is just having absolutely no idea what any team is going to be running. That is the biggest thing. And if how Revenant's going to come into play. Who's going to be playing Revenant? Which top 2 players are moving over to that class?
Yeah, exactly. Looking forward to that. We are going to go through this first game. Storm's going to take us through the splits in this first game between Hot on the red team and Vermillion on the blue team.
And it looks like we're going to have Curve and Frostball both moving over to the Henge. No one for Vermillion going to be staying back aside from one of the Ellies. Actually, Esports, they're getting on top of Frostball, who needs to be very careful right here.
He was
not want to get caught out here.
Yeah, I mean, he really does need to be careful. He's running that staff there as well, of course. So he's using this using that Chaos Storm very well on top of the structure there over towards Henge, and gets out of that damage in the end. You're going to reverse retreat with that number 2 skill on the staff as well. Red team picking up the first cap as we go over towards mid. Alcor versus Tage. Tage has been used very randomly in the last few weeks as just a bunker that holds a point 1v1. And, you know, they don't revolve a team fight around him at all. Actually, all the team fighting occurs without him even being present. Snowball now low HP over towards this side of the map. We've definitely got a rampage of some sort coming out somewhere here. It was indeed RG. To see the red just flashing in the screen there. Chaos Storm as well on the point. 2 Chaos Storms. Storm.
I believe they would like a reset right now due to apparent lag. Coming in from the red team. I'm not sure if it's affected the blue team. It looks like only the red team had agreed to, had wanted to. And I mean, they had the lead regardless, so. It looks like blue team is saying no to the reset, and this game will not be reset. That is very interesting.
I don't really know what to say about that.
It's not like either team really has a lead. They do not want to reset, so
it's not a significant lead. The blue team's got 1 cap and red team are ahead. There's like,
well, perhaps they think it won't accomplish much. Who knows? I
mean, I don't mind. I didn't really see that much lag coming out as well. So if I'm honest, but maybe I just wasn't on those guys. So that's going to be, you know, I haven't got an admin right now in this game. I mean,
that's
I'm not really sure what to do in that situation.
That's very tough. But regardless, the blue team going to take the lead here. I'll set them for a whole lot of it. Gets spiked down there by Treffin, who came in and finished the job onto him as they look to try and get a 2 cap. And
okay, alright. He is saying that he needs to reset his internet, but it was less than a minute in.
I do not know if it was. I had seen it. It was about 1.5 minutes. Perhaps he had said it before. But like I said, there's not an admin in here.
Okay, this.
Unfortunately. Anyhow, I mean, they are progressing on with the match. So just thinking about what's going on here. Blue team taking the sides. Red team really struggling to get anything done, any pressure on the map. You do have both of those Mespers against Esports over here at the mine point. Gonna get a third coming out from Respawn, trying to reclaim their home point over at the mine. As we have more rotations coming in for the blue team with the Triffin and Argineer making their way to mine. Decap comes out. You get the blue team still holding a decent lead here at the start of this game.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I feel a little bit bad but I didn't see it, and like it didn't feel like there might be a recording. We'll probably get something in the back for that, but hey ho, decisions made, and blue team Not agreeing with that there. And we are going to see as well these guys over towards this mine point now. Still contested. Going to have a look whether or not these guys are having any issues coming back into this game as well. Looks like the lag issues have been sorted out. Esports now low HP over towards this side of the maps. Apologies for my kind of disengagement in the game. I was just trying to get some info maybe from some of our admins. But we are going to carry on here as planned. Blue team slowly but surely increase their lead. Oh, not sure if Storm's DC'd.
I am here. I'm not exactly sure what apparently the CS lag.
A little tiny bit in your voice, yes.
Interesting.
No lag on this end. I think it's okay now though.
I am just fine in the game here.
Yeah, same.
So, very odd that that's happening.
Could be TS maybe. I'm not too sure. Seems okay at the moment. There's no lag stream or either. But at the moment, we are just going to go back into this. Helseth downstated over towards this mine node as well. We're having fun in this game so far, right? Frostball as well, coming over towards this mid node. They want to try and take out Alcor very, very quickly. In the end, they are able to res back up and get out of this node. But Red Team not able to pick up anything at the moment in this game. And RG really pulling it out over towards this mine node as he grabs that Rampage form again from that Elixir X and really throws that rock and jumps straight onto the node to try and interrupt. We also see Minishi doing a great job at using the structure here to line of sight and get back out, but he's got the portal there if he should so need and isn't going to use it. Tage, look at that rotation. Tage comes back through. They get the kill on Alcor over towards mid. That's great movement from this Red Team. Good stuff. 2 portals. So strong here for the team. For the
Frostball. Oh, Frostball lands the MOA onto Snowball. Who gets illusionary wave coming out there, gonna be revealed if I'm not mistaken. Under so much, no, he's still in stealth. Oh man, it looked like he was out of the Shadow Refuge, able to stay alive just barely. Despite that, Red Team might pick up the cap at the midpoint. No, 1 tick away. Snowball does. Oh man, burning speed off the point. Give up the cap for this Red Team here.
Wow, good stuff. And Red Team now coming back into the game. Snowball is in a little bit of trouble there on the top of the point when. It's just going to go downstated here as well. We're going to see as well, Largenier just needs to back off, but he gets the Elixir S proc, but the conditions take him down in the end. 2 downstated blue team members. Red team starting to come back into this. They need to +1 and get this kill here over on Alcor on the Henge. That would be a great rotation if they could do it quite quickly. Tage now 1v1 again on this side of the map over towards the mine. We have seen those 2 players being killed there. Triffin was hanging around. Now that's good from Helseth to make sure they stay around the body so Triffin isn't going to get down there. Triffin does try and get that steal onto Helseth as well. And he just does back off getting that Chaos Armor as well. As we go back over towards mine, not much going on over here. Waiting for blue teams to possibly +1 up, but they're not able to at the moment because they've just been drawn into this Henge fight.
Yeah, it looks like Red Team slowly making their way back into this game, forcing a huge fight over here at the Henge that is number-wise favoring the blue team. Red Team trying to get more members over here, but it looks like Helseth was actually taken down there by Triffin to get help from Curve. Curve should be able to get the res, popping his stab there. Argineer bringing out some cleave. I don't know, that's a lot of cleave. Not going to be able to get him up. He's going to let him bleed out there and try and pick up the kill on Triffin. Despite that, blue team going to be holding on to the numbers advantage for the time being. Should be able to clean up the fight over at the Henge.
Res here from Frostball. Look at this Chaos Storm down as well. That's a really good res on Helseth. Good job. That Chaos Storm placement as well is so good for the interrupt, just in case anyone tries it when they come in. They've got to be careful here. Oh, we're going to see the downstate, actually. Did we see that downstate? I thought we actually saw the downstate. There must have been the black over to the top of the green, which made it look a little bit like he was in downstate there. Alcor now trying to tank on node. Got the Chaos Storm as well, which makes it really, really difficult for him to stay on point. But still contested. Red team slowly coming back into the game. This is a really slow game considering we've got Mesmers and Thieves all over the shop. Helseth and Frostball come back through the portal over towards mid. Maybe to get this kill versus RG quickly, which could really push them back into this map.
Yeah, and it looks like they are, down 50 points now. Trying to make something, this mid cap held on for so long. Finally gets the D cap. Frostball does get spiked down there once again. My Triffin, who's just all over these Mesmers all game long. Oh, Argineer getting that Rampage as well from that RNG is going to solidify that kill onto Frostball. Now trying to stay on top of Helseth, who is just hovering around the edge, trying to use his terrain to his advantage here. Pick up another kill. We'll have to see how that progresses at this mid fight.
Tage versus esports there over on the Henge. We'll be back later after this break as we go over towards Snowball and Minishi. Again, like you said, kind of, well, the mid is where everything is being decided. We are going to see the Mesmer coming back into the map now as well, with no considerable advantage taken for the blue team when they had indeed got this kill earlier. Curve now on node means they can sustain the point as well, and Helsef hopefully on the side can get something out of what he's trying to do here. He's so low. Easy kill there for Triffin to pick up as well, as Helsef really was doing a lot of running around there, unfortunately. Now Triffin free to +1 where he would like to, but Frostball is going to pressure mid as well. Hopefully they can try and get something out of this kill. Obviously Curve still full HP versus Alcor. It's not really that difficult, but lots of damage can come out. I do believe we saw the Fear Me as well coming out from Alcor, negating that burst initially coming out from Frostball potentially. We've seen the cap as well for red.
Yeah, Minishi actually under a lot of pressure at the Henge, needs help immediately, gonna FGS right on out of here. Mesmer wasn't able to make it there in time to help him. We'll have to see if full cap does come out just barely from Snowball. They are not going to want to fight that anytime soon. They're actually going to keep the 2v2 going, but it's still in favor of the blue team. Of course, trying to hold on to this lead. They had a huge lead, even with the potential lag issues coming out at the start of the game. Still barely holding on, managed to get a decap over at the mine. That's going to help him out in the long run, but still at the Henge, Frostball under so much pressure, really struggling to stay alive, does get taken down there by Argineer.
Indeed, and we are going to see that's going to really hamper their efforts around the map, as we see mine is currently contested still as well. Ritty needs to try and get the plus up on this side of things. Henge node being capped though really is still really big, because we've only really had one cap capped at any time in this game. It's been quite considerable, and now we've got the +1 from Helsef over towards this mine. They need to get the cap quickly. Helsef comes in stealth, does drop on node. Healing comes out from Curve as he gets into that water attunement as well. We are going to see possibly the kill maybe, or at least the put off of that player off that node as well. Alcor versus Tage mid. Stills, we see the Elementis and Argineer, Minishi and Argineer move over towards mid. Down state of esports though, could mean we are going to see this mine node come back into their favour, but apparently no one wants to cap it. Okay, there we go. We're going to jump on node now.
There was a 3v2 in favour of this red team, and now it looks like we are going to have one of the Mesmers leave to make it a 2v2.
Yeah.
Triffin is trying to get on top of Helseth, who is sitting pretty for the time being, despite that red team without a cap. Still, as blue team managing to get themselves back up to about a 100-point lead in just a few seconds here. Looking pretty impressive, holding on, even despite, a really good attempt at a comeback from the red team. This game is not even close to being over, as esports is taken out there by Helseth. Very good shatter combo coming out there. And we saw a portal. I don't believe that portal was from him, though.
Yeah, Frostball comes back up to the top. That's good play. Knocks Alcor off node. Oh, one tick. Oh, one tick left. A Frostball. We've seen this from him so often, to come through for the quick finish, to try and pick up a quick kill. This is a 2-cap. There's a possibility they could come back into this game, Storm. And we've seen that move coming out from Frostball before. Yeah. It's very impressive. And with the kills coming out, like they're running into a place where they had the respawns of blue team, but they're back on the map now. And really, Helsef could probably pick up something. Not Helsef, sorry. Frostball. We saw the Mesmer, and I was like, yeah, it's the Mesmer.
Helsef, though. Look at him. Triven is all over him. Gonna get some kills from Tage. Thankfully, he has portal if he wants to go back to that mine point. He did drop it over there, but they are holding on to this 2-cap. He is going to drop it, let Tage go through. Helseth going to be sitting on the midpoint. Very good rotation. I like that. Tage should not be in those 1v1, should be at those team fights, supporting his team. And that is exactly what he's going to be doing, as blue team starting to make way to the midpoint instead of the mine, as we see Triffin already going over here, as well as Alcor making his way, trying to force a 2v1 at the midpoint.
Well, they want to keep the points they have. They want to get the cheeky decap, I think. We are going to still see Curve or someone holding that back node. And if anyone was going to do it, I'd love to. Curve is the man. And RG and Curve have played together so well, so much, that they know what's going to happen in that 1v1, I think. But RG still desperately trying to get that decap on that node. We are slowly seeing red team members pushing towards this Henge, which makes their comeback potential, the blue team's comeback potential to get a cap or a decap even less, as they now start to 2-1 this fight here, and now we are going to see blue team start to even things up. Chaos Storm on point, but Frostball does have the portal ready to get in, just in case they need to get back to mid, possibly get the kill on Alcor, which is exactly what happens. Chaos Storm on node. Alcor is running for his life. Good movement from him. Blue team start to push over towards this mine node. They are going to be able to catch up if the game goes as it is.
We didn't see what happened there, but Curve was in a 1v2 so low at the mine. Excellent rotation from Tage, getting him, keeping him alive, and they forced the blue team out of mine once again as they are just struggling to find a foothold for a second node here, trying to make way to the midpoint right now as they really just need to, come together as a team, get to a big team fight and see if they can progress. It looks like they want to continue the 3-point push though, as you see Argineer heading over to force a 1v1, getting Tornado unfortunately with that Elixir X in the 1v1 against Curve. We'll see how that progresses. Actually, the rest of the team making their way over here. This is going to be a huge team fight. That's really going to set the pace for the rest of the game.
Oh no, knock off node. Net turret. Someone needs to get on point. Oh, he gets back on. That's good movement from Curve there. We're going to see the sun coming out onto Frostball. They're going to try and get the burst damage onto RG. He's not bad. They just need a little bit more damage. Elixir S-Proc as well. He's so close to go down.
30 seconds left in this game, and Red Team will take
But decap fall.
Oh my
decap hinge. There's no chance blue team are going to come back into this.
I don't know. A chieftain or a spawning kill could
That's
do it.
true. They've got to go for it.
Elixir X. You can't get a rampager thing.
They're going for it. Where's Red Team? They need to click on this boss. They need to hit on this boss. Whoever gets it is probably going to win.
We have
still 2 cap. Oh my good lord, it's all on Svarnir right now. We see Red Team pick up the win on that. And that is, I am no way ashamed of saying, I'm glad we didn't restart that game. I'm sorry. I'm glad I didn't restart.
I mean, despite potential lag coming in there for what seemed like the Red Team for what they said most of the game, still picking up a game #1 victory. Jeesh, that was close. Closer than I anticipated, especially from the opening comments of that game.
So bloody long. Anyway, splits coming out. Storm's going to go through these splits with Hot coming in with 1 game up versus Vermillion on the blue side.
Yeah, both teams sending an LA to that home node. We do have a 1-2-2 coming out for the red team, a 1-0-4 coming out for blue. Looks like Vermillion looking to do something that they did in the last set. Maybe bursting down. Minishi over here. He knows something is up. They don't know where they're at. He is playing it careful. Very good communication coming out for the red team at the start of this one.
Yeah, we have a look at them over towards the waterfall now as well as we see Curve, Frostball and Helseth trying to take down Snowball. No one stay on the node to get the cat, they just want the kill, which is very important. We can see Alcor coming in for the support as well. And Snowball, look at the boss. Oh my god, gets the Vapor through towards that. That's really good. And is Helseth going to go for the kill on the gate? No, he's not. I'm kind of surprised. But maybe he thought they was going to res before that. And Alcor is on node, but they want to maybe use that situation. I don't know about that. Maybe he could have got the door down and got the kill. But we've seen the portal over towards midpoint. And it proves that esports it might go down here. He's mowed. Oh my god. He still gets out of that as well. And gets over towards Alcor here. We've got the 3 men back up. Snowball and esports together. Red team don't want to engage that at all. They get the mid cap and they're probably going to head over towards the quarry now. Where Argineer might be in a ton of trouble and pain very, very shortly. But Triffin just seeing some people off over towards the midpoint now, trying to escape Helseth.
Needs to be a little careful. He's in a bit of a sticky situation here. It looks like a bit of a push coming out from Frostball and Helseth over at the quarry. As they managed to get the decap, as Argineer was not on the point for much of that time.
Oh, Triffin!
Oh, so much damage and a few Connies on a nice illusionary wave coming out there from Frostball. Going to knock off any potential res, but the banner coming out there from Alcor, going to get him back up into this fight. As they continue to try and take this node back to themselves.
Nice play there from the blue team. Good recovery on both sides of the map, actually. On Waterfall as well. We're also going to see this double team coming out from Triffin and also from Argineers. They get the stealth off now, but Helseth had to retreat back into the base. But we are going to see these guys stealthing up and moving back into the map. Red team haven't got the they haven't got knowledge of where Triffin is currently, or RG. And actually the pull comes out onto Tage there as well on node, and he needs to bail off this and go back to the midpoint, which is going to be a good position for them to bounce off and move maybe over towards the waterfall, which is going to happen now as Frostball and Helseth on both sides, both pulling out that retreat from the staff number 2 there, of course, as esports comes back over towards that node as well. And we are going to see a possible kill mid maybe to get RG. He would be a good target to pick up now.
That's 2v2 for this blue team. Really gonna face. I mean, they've got double DD Ellie over here at the waterfall. They should not die anytime soon. Tage gonna come help them out, make it a 3v2. A little bit of a skirmish between the points from Triffin and Argineers. They look to possibly make a push towards this point, but this seems to be where the big battle is going on. Is both teams still holding on to one node here. in favor of the red team with a very slight lead. Is Waterfall once again evens itself back out to a 1v1 between the DDLAs that will just never end unless somebody pluses that fight.
Yeah, you're always waiting for the +1 on that side of things. It's just keeping it neutral, which is quite big at the moment, which is why they're playing between these 2 points. They just want to try and take someone down, and then you'll see the move. Although now Triffin, they're actually going for the +up now, as red team are starting to re-engage as a group over on towards this node. Who is going to be the main target here? Triffin, low HP as well, just tries to get out of there, gets the stealth up, possible move back in towards the waterfall here as well. Esports going low as he gets focused by both of the Mesmers. That long range of the greatsword as well from both players there. You can just see that beam. Just line of sight from him is brilliant for him to just regenerate and line of sight. And really, for any contestation with 2 Ellies on blue team, this is a great place for them to do it.
Yeah, and this fight is, I mean, each team has somebody sitting around their only point right now, not even going to go fight each other. Don't want to risk losing their own nodes. So this 4v4 at the waterfall is going to be a lot for this team. Who's going to take a big lead? Snowball, under so much pressure right now, has a cantrip to cleanse the condies, but it's taken down regardless. Looks like they're just going to let him bleed, as they know there's no chance of a res coming out for the blue team. And red team might start to move ahead here with a cap on the waterfall in the near future.
Oh. We're going to see Esports trying to line a sight and use that side of the fence, of course, to try and mitigate a lot of that damage. And he's just going to try and great sword it away into the base of the blue team there. Red team should, red team being bring on hot, should be able to pick up the waterfall. They just do. And now we might even see a mini push from Minishi or someone over towards this quarry node possibly. But Snowball coming back into the map now as well. Esports able to get back out of that base, thinking about possibly going back onto this node. Not sure that's going to be the best decision here. They do lose that team fight in the end. Argineer, surprising that he wasn't one of the main targets. We're going to see the Moa coming out onto Esports as well, and he's going to be trapped on the side there, just towards near the
I have no idea how he stayed alive right there.
They kind of avoided him.
He should have been killed. There was a lot of pressure on him. No idea how he stayed alive there. Very good job from his team, able to keep him up into that fight. Now Frostball under a bit of pressure. So is Lord Hell's actually taken down. There's so much damage coming out onto him. We saw that knockback coming out there from Argineer to get him off the ledge, as he was not going to get back up into this fight. It doesn't look like anyone from his team is going to go in for the rest. Despite that, still holding on to the 2 cap. This red team should be able to soak in the points for at least a little bit longer to start to gain at least, you know, a decent lead here.
I don't know if they are. Look, they've put Curve on point. That's a really, really good rotation. Just leave him there and maybe go back into the rest of the map. And Frostball, if anything, because we've got the respawn of Helseth here, I'm wondering if they're thinking about just regrouping here and getting the portal back. Oh no, he's going to use it now because the timing is probably going to run out on that. We have got, you can see just coming back over to the node, needs to pop back through it, but it helps just in terms of splash damage onto the point. Not splash damage, focus damage there, while Helseth gets back into this game now. But Tage and Curve, you know, on node, they're just not going to die. And they end up keeping that point while Helseth comes back into the map. This is good stuff from the red team at the moment.
Yeah, and Curve, under a little bit of pressure, should be able to keep himself. Oh, nice spike of damage coming out there from Trippin, interrupting that crushing wave. Now Curve using that terrain to his advantage, jumping all over the place, trying to stay up in this fight, going to ride the lightning off onto the waterfall node. Man, this guy is a jumping puzzle master right now, trying to stay up here as they are on top of Esports and companies, taking him down. Alcor, oh man, or excuse me, Argineer threw it down. Nice barrage, able to take him out. There's the portal, getting him through that to the midpoint. Should be able to get that res without a problem. Yeah,
good job. Well, I do believe we saw the Elixir X throw as well, yeah, coming out from Argineer. Not even that was able to really turn that into their favour. Red team still hanging around over towards the waterfall. Even though they've capped the node for quite a considerable amount of time now, they've still only got about 100-point lead, which, you know, in this game, especially Triffin going down though, is really big over on this waterfall node. No one able to come back in for the save for him, and Esports just backs off the side. He doesn't want to be taken out here as well, otherwise their sustainability on this point will completely disappear. But again, using this area around this cave structure here to make sure, oh no, look at that, ride the lightning back onto node and to get some support. this around this area, these Ellies are doing a fantastic job. It's a good point for them to hold, but they're not going to win. They're not winning the fight here at all. They're losing it. And Esports is very close to going down. Moa comes out onto him. They solidify the kill. I don't think we're going to see anything coming out from these guys. Alcor is over on mid, not able to use his banner over there, but now RG has come back over towards the midpoint, trying to 2v1 curve here, as well as Triffin. They want this.
Yeah, Arginir actually getting the rampage there, trying to get on top of Curve, who is managing to stay alive with all those evades and mobility that he has. Still, a few gap closures for Arginir. It's going to expire that rampage. They're not able to pick up a kill in the process. Red team once again reclaiming that 2-cap with the win over at the waterfall, as we saw them clean up shop. And Esports coming out from Respawn, we'll have to see. It looks like they're finally going to make a push for the mid node. Felt like most of this game has revolved around waterfall, and hardly at all at this graveyard.
Feels like they're going to have to probably push even between the mid and that waterfall point now, which is what RG is going to go and try and do. Trying to get that decap on the node is going to be important so they can keep maybe 100 points or so. They don't want it to get above 150 or so. It's going to be difficult for them to come back into this. But Red Team now, they have the Lord Rush under wraps.
Snowball is going for the gate on his side, but he is not going to be able to take that down nearly as fast as 4 members of this Bring On Hot team.
Sure.
That is probably a guaranteed kill on this blue. 40% HP. Look at the condies. Look at the damage. That will be game in favor of Red.
Soon as it hit 350 as well. Tiny bit late with the pickup on that, unfortunately, so I didn't see the actual exact move. I'm pretty sure it's Porcel. They have 2 Mesmers, of course, and that's GG's 2 Bring On Hot, which is what we all say at the moment. So it's going to be Bring On Hot versus 55 ranked Dragons in the final of the ESL Go4GW2 Cup in the EU, which will be the final series of the day. And you can have a little resty before you go off and cast the NA side. But we're going to jump into a quick break here. I'm saying quick because I'm hoping it will be.
Hopefully it's much quicker than the break we had between the sets, or between the games there in that set.
Yes, indeed. Oh, God. Just having a little bit of a fun issue here with my PC as well. Stop doing that. Okay.
Yeah, but just briefly talking about that last match, it really felt like Bring On Hot had that for most of the game. Vermillion showed some, signs of light there, but for the most part, at the waterfall, that was where most of the game revolved around. And constant node domination from Bring On Hot, holding that node during most of those fights is really what helped them get to that Lord Rush and win that game there.
Indeed, good pickup there. Just as something, my whole PC just froze for a second. And I could hear you, but I couldn't see anything. Something just...
Well, that's not too good. Well,
no, it was...
that doesn't happen again.
No, it won't. It'll be fine. I think the whole stream's running okay as well, so pretty good stuff. Shouldn't have mentioned that, should I? Anyway, guys, we'll see you very soon. Don't forget, we got the final one next. Bring On Hot versus the rank 55 Dragons team. See you soon.
When you think about not only the prize of today, but seeding points moving into the monthly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We sometimes neglect to really talk about that. The fact that we do have to, of course, have this monthly table, which will decide who goes towards this monthly as well. To find that out. Oh no, my good lord! Just as I'm about to be very creative,
we actually get a starting game. Whoa!
We only actually have 3 teams in the EU on the league table at the moment. On the table, because we only had 3 teams participating. So really, it's anyone's at the moment. I'm going to see these teams coming out. Storm's going to go through the first splits in this final series today. The ESL Go4GW2 Cup number 50.
It looks like we have crosses for both teams. Both going to be opting to play for a 3-node push. Winnipeg going to be heading over to the Henge to force a 1v1 in stealth. So Helseth was expecting people to come. He's not going to stick around, and we're going to have basically an identical split as we've got a 1-3-1 coming out for both these teams here.
Yeah, mid's all stuffed up at the moment. Still, we see the initial burst comes out onto Frostball. Needs to be careful. He does have Portal and Distortion left, puts down Chaos Storm, and he's still got his heal left as well. Good amount of support comes out for him. We're going to see the burst. Vanden Proc comes out onto him as well. Port's back up to the top using Blink. We're going to try and see the Oracle come back, but look at Helseth comes to the rescue as well with Frostball. Getting a nice knockback there, but Vampirom saves Frostball there as Vapor does come up to the top of the point. Helseth tries to come back with some alternate damage there. there to pick him off, but gets pulled down the stairs. And that's really good suckering coming out from these guys here. We are actually going to see potentially Oracle trying to be a bit cheeky there. Coming up top as well.
Frostball still has his time warp, remember, so if somebody else on his team goes down, oh, he is actually taken down there by Misha. That would be the Oracle.
That's really gutsy. Wow.
And, oh,
Safe
Res coming in from Hellstone.
No!
The stop comes out there unexpectedly from the Oracle. Gonna pick up that kill. Very, very nice stop. Minute half in this game, only 9-5 right now. Both teams without a cap, as they look to still make a huge push for this mid note.
That was very nice from Oracle, just being very forceful, and now brings Helseth into that vamp form as well. We're going to see the, actually we're going to see a lot of burst healing coming out from Curve there, but they need to be careful. Lots of CC and control comes out from Zan and Oracle to really push him off point. They should get the cap here. We have got the portal ready, just in case he needs to nip through that. Curve does survive in the end and moves over towards the mine, where blue team is very quickly actually gathering up to potentially take this point away from the red team, as Lipion might be in a little bit of trouble as he uses those shield skill cooldowns.
Yeah, red team looking very healthy health pool wise, as Curve and Minichi are actually pretty low on the side of the blue team. Minichi actually getting under a whole lot of pressure here, does go through the portal back to midpoint where he's met by Zan. And I believe that was just an illusion from one of those Mesmers that happened to be sitting around now. Denchi able to get on that point before Muna gets the full cap. Despite that, red team still holding onto the cap, and mid blue team able to pick a cap over at the mine point.
Yeah, still one apiece. So really, really close. Just 2.5 minutes in the game. We've only just hit 30 points. This is going to be a slow one apparently, as Minishi does go very low off point. Needs to be very careful here. Does go down. No one's in range to pick him up, but we've got 3 red team members to try and take Minishi down, which means blue team need to take an advantage over on mid. We've seen another time warp coming out over on this side of the node as Big Zan goes into vapor form there as well, goes on the side, puts his heal back up, back almost to about 3/4 HP. Just as he comes onto the node though, really pressures himself to get he gets a lot of damage on himself, as well as Lipion as well, and Zan really in trouble, but holds long enough for the rest of the team members to get in there. Look at the cheeky decap from Vapor there.
Yeah, and both teams, I mean, if he's able to pick up that decap, and it looks like he will. Oh, Curve not able to get on the point just in time. So a 2-cap coming out here, 455. That is very good for them. I mean, we've seen games come down to timer, and if these decaps, if people are keeping up with the decaps all over the map, we could definitely very well see another timer. But red team holding on strong to that hinge point. The decap actually comes out at the keep, as blue team starting to force red off of that and over to the side nodes.
This is the thing, you know, with the Thief and Vamp, you know, I kind of almost give it to red team just based on that fact alone almost. And also because, you know, the players they have, but still, I mean, we did see that Hot came back from a lead in this first game on Forest, so nothing is over at all. But, you know, that Vamp rune difference is very, very strong for the Mesmer Thief team, of course. So we know the benefits of that, as Vapors does start to stealth up the bottom of Keep here in Rhodes, wondering if he's going to come up to mid, because we do have Liprion solo.
Oh, portal.
Yeah, Frostball comes through that portal as well. It's not looking too bad over on it. Goes back through as well. We see this action from Frostball all the time, which really kind of jukes the
there's a
the
portal
opposite
from
team.
Oracle as well, so a little bit of a counter portal in a way, a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
He was just getting out of there. He's going to be okay and safe at the midpoint. Meanwhile, we still have red holding on, keeping Muna around that hinge point. They do not want to give that up. They are slowly growing their lead up to 100 points just by holding on to that cap. So they know if they can hold on to that and survive, do relatively well over at the other points, they should be okay for the time being. But blue able to clean up the fight over at the mine. We'll have to see if Vapor is able to get out of that one alive.
Oh, good lord.
Dodges the illusionary wave.
Whoa,
with
nice.
That disabling shot, excuse me, able to dodge that illusionary wave and still remain stealth.
It's Gutsy sticking there versus Minishi though, but they still don't know where he is, so he's going to stay there for a while. But the reason he is because Zan's coming in, and if Zan comes in with the control over on this side of things, this is where something's going to really happen over on this mine node. If they can CC Minishi up, they should be able to get the quick kill. But the thing is, they are outnumbered elsewhere on the map. But Curve comes over. And they won't be able to stay on this point forever, but Minishi is very low. When Curve comes in, he's really going to help him survive. And 2 Ellie's on that node, that's not going to be great for them to try and keep. Tage tries and use that shield 5 to knock people off the node to get himself a couple more caps. Helseth dropping that portal as well over towards this side of the map, over towards the henge. And we've got full sustain in terms of all points have been neutralized.
Yeah, and Frostball under a bit of pressure at the midpoint once again comes through the point. Throws out the Time Warp, interestingly enough, onto Lipion, who has shield block and blocking everything that's thrown at to him for the first half of this Time Warp. Gonna get the extra long Savage leap there from that sword and be out of that into safety. That was almost a wasted Time Warp.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, they've got another one. which is the crazy, insane... No, they've used 2 up. They've actually used those very close. They stacked 2 there? I missed that.
It's very, very odd. No, the thing is, at the start of this match, both of those Mesmers for blue had Signet of Humility, and Misha had Time Warp. Now they completely swapped them around, so both of them have Time Warp, and Misha has Signet of Humility, which is interesting enough. The blue team able to finally clean up the fight over at the keep, while a big one is starting to emerge over here at the mine. Big Zan, under a bit of pressure, needs to be very careful, able to get his heal off. He should be okay as he makes his way to the midpoint.
That movement from Helseth when he's in Vamp, that was really nice. He was in Vamp and just going to jump on node, which was kind of obvious, but he just double backed on himself, gets rallied here as Big Zan goes down elsewhere around this node, but still low HP. Red team need to try and pick up the kill on him if they possibly can, but he does stealth away and retreats using that staff number 2 ability, goes up to mid and just regroups himself. The blue team starts to come back into the game. 7.5 minutes now left as we reach the halfway mark in this matchup. Midpoint is capped by blue. We've still got 60-point lead for the red team at currently of rank 55 Dragons. Not sure we're going to see a massive amount change in the next couple of minutes though.
Yeah, red team really need to find what they want to do here. Zan looking for a 1v1 or 1v2, excuse me, against Frostball and Helseth. Have to see if he's going to take that on or not. Playing kind of defensively here. Probably should leave this point as the rest of his team trying to clean up shop over here at the mine point, able to, you know, hold the decap for quite some time, but they really need to get a point back. They had over 100-point lead, dwindled back to about 40 here, and blue team gonna tie it up unless red is able to get a point.
Yeah, they're actually going to move on out back over towards mid now as well, the red team. They're going to leave Lipion in a 1v1 there to try and make sure they can get something over towards the mid, or even towards henge now, plussing up, but they get caught out in the roads as we do see Frostball just nipping in there to try and get some extra damage. But look at this Pain Train combination of Oracle and Vapor as they move over towards this henge node, but Frostball comes in with his own burst and gets the Oracle down a little bit here, and that really slows their momentum moving into the point and stops their main focus of damage onto the point. And we've seen blue team getting this 2-cap now. This is pretty strong.
Yeah,
especially if Misha goes down.
I just want to point out, as I previously mentioned in this game, watch for a timed out game. 6 minutes left, and neither team even close to 200 points. This has kind of been the signature thing of this tournament as a whole, if you ask me. And I wouldn't be surprised. There's decap at the midpoint. I would not be surprised to see this go to timed out. But blue team finally taking the lead for once in a while, and Frostball able to, puts down a time warp at the midpoint, seeing if they can get this cap back for themselves.
Oh, the Oracle, very quick, almost might go down. Oh my god. 1k HP gets out of there. Luckily, that confusion tick pops off, but maybe he can +1 up here and just get the kill. But Frostball's coming in as well, so Oracle needs to be careful for the engagement of Frostball over on this side of the map. Helseth is low as well, so maybe... Oh, Frostball's coming in stealth as well. Do they know where he is? He's not... Oh, wow, look at the burst that comes into Oracle. He gets away as well. Good movement from him. Frostball gets back onto node. It feels like this might go for a little bit longer, but red team not getting anything at the moment. Oh no, they might get the decap here over on mine.
I'm very surprised Oracle has not used
decap mine
Signet in a while. But yeah, the decap comes out. Blue team does get the cap at the midpoint though, in the midst of that.
My
and
good Lord, yeah.
That 1v2 is going to happen with Vapor and Zan. Over on Minishi, who is going to be under a lot of pressure here. He needs to be very careful. He's not getting any support. No rotation. Finally, rotation can be coming out there from Curve. See if he can make way over here.
Oh,
but he should be able to hold off. Oh, he's going to get the cap because
Vapor.
Nice burst coming out there from I believe that was Zan. Yeah, Zan had a nice grenade barrage onto him.
That Vamp Rune, unfortunately, was not the best thing that could have been used in that opportunity, of course. You've got no decision on when that happens, and if it got on node, it would have been contested, and that's a big thing to come out. But they've only equalised the caps up. They've not actually, they're not going to be able to get much of a comeback here unless they get the kills. But Minishi's still quite high up here, and Curve as well with him is really going to be a bit of an issue for them to try and take him out. But they just, if they can hold these two Ellies, maybe.
Going back to that Vamp Rune thing, like you said, that was crucial because now Red Team, who hadn't had a point in minutes, literally minutes had not had a point, allowing their 100-point lead to slip. Finally able to get the mine point as they are down about 30 points with 3 minutes 45 seconds left in this game. This could very well once again come down to a boss kill on Chieftain or Spawning.
Yeah, they're stretching it. I mean, he's just under 40 points. I mean, even if they went to double sides and they pressured that, but they still need to keep someone on the nodes, which is what they might have to do, actually. But we're going to see this Pain Train combination of Vapor and also the Oracle coming over towards the Henge. This is almost 3.5 minutes, and this game is going to go under... Oh, no, the burst comes out! Nice! Oh, there's the Moa difference onto Tage, and they're going to pick up that side node, but they've lost the mine point now as well, as the two Mesmers come over to the side. There's nothing Red Team can do.
There's the portal from the Pain Train, Oracle, and Vapor going on top of Minishi. Already down to 50% HP, forced to Lightning Flash behind the keep. Guns back right on to this point. Red Team getting the cap on the Henge, but Blue gonna taking the 2-cap for themselves.
They lost points.
I don't think, are they able to get the decap? The Illusionary Wave wasn't enough to get the decap, but I think we're gonna see Backwards once again giving, really backfiring on them.
Yeah, I mean... And the problem is there, like Red Team, we thought that maybe they were going to get the best out of that, but here we go, Time Warp comes out as well as Portal on point, and really, if anyone from Red Team goes down now, they will lose this game, and 50 points, even if they go for a double boss kill now, will not win them this, and Big Zan in trouble below, Keep in the roads, goes down.
2 points, I think 2 points, they really... able to get Zan back up, but this 2 minutes 15 seconds, this will very well come down to a boss kill. Who is up? If these Mesmers have Time Warp, which one of them currently does, the other, if I'm not mistaken, will not have Time Warp up, unfortunately. So Frostball is done with Time Warp for the rest of the game. Helseth has his Time Warp, and he needs to make sure he uses this last one perfectly.
Even if they get the boss kill now, they won't be able to win because they have to commit to it fully. And Big Zan goes down as well. That really is...
Don't get the stop. Blue Team gets the cap despite that. I think that was a well-used Time Warp because if they hold this 2-cap, bosses don't even matter.
No, it doesn't. They've been ahead for a while of the fact that they can get the double boss kill. That's the problem. The pressure there. I mean, Blue Team's movement there around the map, like you said, that Time Warp as well, and the kill on Zan and the kill on Lipion really ended it at this point of the game. We're going to see... Unless something really big changes right now, where we see a decap on the mid or the side, I don't think we're going to see the Red Team come back.
Misha did drop the portal for his team to try and spike down the Blue Team over at the mine point, trying to pick up a decap, but I think it's far too late. Unless Blue gives up and gives them a 3-cap and free Spawning or Chieftain kills, this game is definitely going in favor of Bring On Hot. And my prediction, down the drain there, we see a banner there from Lipion, able to get him out of the downstate at the mine, but I don't think this game is going for them.
If it was against like anyone else, I don't think your prediction would have been wrong. Like, I was fairly sure. I felt this very similar. That I thought ranked dragons were going to actually take this.
Well, they had a significant lead. They had over a 100-point lead. But a very impressive comeback nonetheless from Bring On Hot, really getting themselves back into this game, doing exactly what they need to do, out-rotating for the most part this Red Team, and an impressive victory coming out from Bring On Hot.
Good job from these guys. And we will go towards... the fun stuff in chat. We will go towards the next game in this series. Could be the final game in the day. We have had 4 series, guys. We had 9 teams coming out to play in the tournament today, of course. Hot taking that first one as we go over to Fofire. Maybe Dragons can pull it back. We're just going to have to wait and see exactly what happens in this series. Otherwise, again, thank you guys for coming out today. We've got over 1K viewers again. We have many different language streams going on. Make sure that you tune into the Guild Wars 2 channel on Wednesday for the ESL Go4 Guild Wars 2 monthly finals of September. Looking forward to those on the fly.
Probably that rune and amulet, so...
It's just literally that. You can't be.
So, I don't know.
Bunker ban, Guardian. There you go. It could be a thing.
I believe we are going to be getting this one going here.
Okay.
Very surprised to see double intel on Tage's sets. Don't think I noticed that before. Sometimes you might see maybe a Doom once in a while or something like that. Not to say it's bad or anything, it definitely has its perks, but as far as NA Guardians go, haven't seen double intel, but it's been doing wonders for them. They got the win, so they must be working out here. But game number 2 is going to finally be starting. I think this is the quickest break we had. Prediction really quick. Give me it, Jebro. Who's going to win?
I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, it's a prediction.
All right, we're going to go with Bring On Hot. Bring On Hot. Okay. We're doing that.
Hold on to your points.
Seeing you coming out of the gates here as well as Red Team. Not go for the similar, not similar splits before actually. Dragons, not before, because we saw that they've changed teams obviously, but still not similar as they go for a 2-2-1 split here. We're going to see the Engineer Zan coming over versus Tage actually. That could be quite nice in the end. Might be able to get a nice amount of damage onto him. Vapor and Oracle coming in for the quick burst onto Tage with Helseth coming in from behind, but he's not stealthed. And actually, if they turned around, they could have got a nice amount of damage onto Helseth. Nice CC onto Tage. Has to use those shouts to get back out of those as well.
And maybe portal though.
Helseth on the side. Yeah,
good. Portal coming out there. Looks like they're going to get multiple members of the red team back to that midpoint. Getting on top of Minishi, who needs to be careful. Able to lightning flash up to the ledge. Get cleansing wave off and get back down onto that point. One cantrip remaining for himself. A minute in. Nobody seemingly having the upper hand in this game. And thus far, we do have a time warp though on the midpoint coming out from Frostballs. They try and take down Lipian, but looks like he should be able to stay alive as he's swapped over to the limit shout rather than healing signet.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen that been used by warriors since like Shore Height. I mean, it's been a while.
Because he's gone to clerics as well. Every time he changes to clerics and hammer, this is the Shambo build. I'm doing the 2-finger thing here. Where he does switch over to that and he gets the extra shots. It gets even more healing from this heal. And he's pretty much like the only one who uses this.
Well, and it used to not be a shout, so you can actually have that now. And I honestly, I've never seen that in NA, but this is far from that. So red team able to finally get that cap over there at the quarry node. Start to build a very minimal lead at the start of this game as they look to take this one and move on to a map number 2. But obviously far from over. Tage, seemingly the main target, does portal back to that waterfall. We saw that come out there from one of the measures. Back to midpoint though for him.
Oh, could be taken out here, Tage, actually, going back into that mess. And unfortunately, it looks like that might be the case. Empower isn't going to be enough when the burst comes in. And that's a slow heal as Oracle gets a significant amount of damage there, shadow damage onto his target along with that time warp as well. Portal still over towards the mid. He's belonging to the blue team members here as we have a look quickly over on the waterfall to see what's going on. Just as I go off that, Oracle does get stunned there. Just need to be careful on that point. Red team picking up the only points of the game thus far. Nice knock back onto Minishi, might be pushed into the corner. Does lightning flash away actually, but still follow up from the red team is pretty nice to force him to use a lot of cooldowns as well.
Yeah, and blue team still without a point this game. 55 points coming out there. Oh man, I did not mean to say 55 when they had 55 points. No pun on that 55 ranked Dragons. I just came up.
Should have kept going. Oh my god, you could have turned
comes out there. And that just lined itself up perfectly. Just gotta go back to that. But they look to reclaim that point at the quarry. And blue still without a point this game, and we're multiple minutes into this one.
Also, I want to know what you would have said had you had the chance again, just by the end of the series. But we'll find out about that later. Munipai going down to about half HP. Oh god, the Shattered Burst damage comes in from Helseth there as well on the side. He's going to have the line of sight so well as he tries to get AoE cleaved up here. He does go into Vamp there as well. Not sorry, Vamp, I believe. Did he Vapor Form? Oh, he did Vapor Form. I believe indeed he's going for the Svarnir rune. Thought that was a bit odd there. So we go back over to mid. 1 cap apiece. Still early doors, so we've got about 4 minutes left. 4 minutes taken in this game thus far. Zan goes down just under the arches of the, just above the midpoint there.
Banner there, Vermillion.
Yeah.
Able to get him back up into this fight. Still down 60 points. They managed to get the waterfall, but a decap possibly from Vapor. Will it come out? Curve gets on the point just in the nick of the time with that FGS, as this will be a 2v1, as Zan is going to help him out, coming a long way around. As that banner just previously from Lipion got him back up. Wanted to get reset, but still, Curve gonna get help as the fight starts to move towards this waterfall. We do see a time warp as the decap comes out there. Helseth under a little bit of pressure as well, who portals back to that mid node.
Yeah, it's looking, I mean, putting that portal out as well. Yeah, the decap was good, but look at the damage that comes back onto Frostborn. Needs to be careful here as well. Zan is running in that Marauder. I will have to double check to make sure that is true as well in a moment. But over on towards mid, Helseth Minishi trying to take out Moonify here, as also Lipion does come back onto the node, using that hammer very effectively. But they keep getting the decaps. They're slowly etching their lead forward, the red team at the moment. Frostborn needs to be careful as well as it tries to disengage off of Waterfall. They've got to be very careful here. They started to get a bit of the edge back.
I mean, this is what kind of what we saw in the last game. There was about a 100-point lead for 55. And Bring On Hot slowly edged their way back into this game. And will we see that same thing happen? We'll have to see a 2 cap, but this is a, you know, oh, the decap might happen. No, it doesn't happen in the waterfall. Very, very close.
Look at Vapor.
To happening.
Vapor really escaped, barely got rid of those conditions there. He's going to pop up some stuff and try and get back onto this point here as well. Probably maybe with Zan. Well, he's just going to back off with him. Maybe try and get the quick kill over on mid. I'm not sure about their main target. Should be Lord Helseth here. Pulls out the portal as well, just in case. And we are going to see the survival of Helseth there up to the top. Just blinking up to the top of mid. Doesn't want to get too involved there. And Zan really, really low HP. He does get the Elixir S-Proc. He just pulls out that jumping puzzle on the side. But now has to be aware of 2 Mesmers coming into the midpoint, which is horrible for an engineer, especially if you're so low on HP there. And Moonify moving over towards the quarry to defend that node in their favour. Just as blue team start to push over.
Yeah,
they're going to get decap here.
I anticipate.
Oh! That was so close, Storm.
So
oh no!
Close.
Former good again! Lightning Flash back on, but look, Helseth's been caught on the side. We've seen a time warp coming out. He ports just as the rest comes out.
Time warp, so that's really going to help them cleave out Helseth here. And
wow.
As I was saying, this mid node, given the state of last game, timing out, basically, I would not be surprised if this mid node never gets capped in either team's favor, just because of the fact, the nature of how these teams are playing. We'll have to see if it ever does. I mean, we're 6 minutes into this game. Sorry, we're 7 minutes into this game here. Neither team ever even gotten close to getting a cap there, as we do see both elementalists guarding their home points here. Another big fight at this midpoint about to emerge.
Yeah, at the moment, Zan not getting the exact thing he wants. Still does a lot of damage, actually, that tornado. And you got Marauder's amulet there, but not able to use it to get any CC or anything. Red team are going to get a decap as well over on the waterfall here. They need to be, they are not watching their back caps at all, and they let the Mesmer get the decap as well. You can see Helseth coming back onto this node. Chaostorm on point. We're going to see a time warp coming out as well. Whose is that? Going to be Frostballs indeed. They capitalise massively off this, though, actually, to be honest, in the end.
Yeah, Curve running for his life, making use of the terrain, but that great sword auto attack gonna proc the vamp for him. Not gonna have that defensive mechanism, and the 2 cap come out there for the red team there, as they are going to be surging ahead in points within the near future. But on the other side of the map, Moonify was taken down, and to stop the decap at least, Minishi is gonna solidify the kill here. And oh, Vapor, no, Vapor coming in. Will he be able to get the res? He does have SR. Throws it down.
Unfortunately, in the end, we are going to see him go down. And Zan actually survived that, fortunately for them, in the end as well. But they might lose the waterfall if they can shift their butts back over towards this waterfall very quickly. Bring On Hot could take that waterfall node as well. So we're just going to have to wait and see whether or not they're able to pick that out in the end. But Helsef stops over towards midpoint, trying to take out Lipion, which would take out a lot of their support and healing as well. And he has all cooldowns and his banner up as well. But at the moment, he's just trying to mitigate that damage by pulling out that Earthshaker, as well as just trying to cleanse those conditions with that Warhorn, as well as his shouts. Now he's run out of cooldowns very quickly as he gets outmanned here. But it does get the support of the Ellie as well back onto that midpoint. Oh, yeah, Curve Ellie might die.
Yeah, Curve's still running for his life. Does not
oh my god.
No water treatment up for another 4 seconds.
He's fine.
No one going to be chasing him. We did see the Oracle just get res. I believe that's where most of the attention of the red team went, to get him back up rather than...
Oh!
Burst it down. Look at that shatter combo coming out there from Misha, along with the stand, bringing out those nades. He is not surviving. He is off the map. That was an impressive play.
Normally I wouldn't have stayed in the down state for as long as I did just then, but I think I was just in shock of how quickly they managed to just come back and get that burst onto him, just as his cooldowns were coming back off. So almost, you know, gotta feel sorry for him a little bit there, but hey ho.
Blue team looked like they were starting to make a move back into this game, but they're still down quite a bit here. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left in this game. The decap at the quarry, not going to be helping their cause.
Both teams did exactly the same thing in this game. They're not looking after their caps there, and they lost Curve, and I'm surprised that no one was over there just to have a look, but Minishi did have to push forward just because they've lost that man as well, which does suspect what happened. But Blue team get the decap over on the waterfall, transporting players back through that portal to try and take out Helsif, who just goes quite low himself, as well as Frostball there. Just have to be very careful. Minishi goes down over towards this quarry node as red team come back for the gang up onto him. Curve now is going to have to try and stay on this point and keep it contested while kills come out elsewhere. Oracle trying to get that kill versus Tage as well over on the midpoint.
Yeah, decap nodes all around. 4:30 left in this game. Over, just under a 100-point lead for rank 55 here. Blue team really needs to get something going. Don't forget, they always have that Lord play in mind if they want to. We saw it in their last series, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was 2 series ago, where they did get the Lord. Didn't really need it. They were already winning quite significantly, but would be surprised to see that if it comes down to, a game that's not going to hit 500 points.
Jesus. Helsef goes down as well. Frostball is going to be... This is going to be risky if he goes to the res. He gets the Chaos Storm. He gets the res as well in the end. Really risky. And in the end, almost goes down himself. And not sure this is worth it in the end as they lose the cap and they have to reposition themselves potentially to try and come back into this game. 100-point lead now for the red team as we have a look at potentially one of the last games, but it won't be of the final because Dragons are starting to power ahead with a double cap. Blue team is still trying to challenge on the side. Frostball in the down state as well. Helsa potentially trying to come in for a bit of a res here, but Poison lays down on the corpse, and I don't think we're going to see that coming out. Curve almost bursted as well. Top of mid as well from Zan, and he might actually be in a ton of trouble. Comes towards Tage, but that's a nice... Actually, that tornado really pushes Curve away from Tage as well.
Yeah, and the red team's now at the point where they could let blue team get the Lord Rush, and they'd be okay. As long as they can hold on to these side nodes, that's really all they need to win this game. We do see Misha already going for a gate play. He has Time Warp. He drops the portal. We'll have to see if he's going to do it. They hit 350. I wouldn't be surprised if he drops it at the midpoint and we see a huge Lord push coming out there for the red team.
We do have one of the Mesmers, Frostball, back over towards this area here. Oracle's going all the way over to Quarry. No. Just probably just shouting over the top of the wall. Come on, guys. Want to go for a bit of a Lord Rush here? What are you doing? Stop messing about. They're still not hitting 350. They're about
there they
to
do.
now. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
One guy is in range. Frostball, he sees it's coming, not even going to bother with the cap. No Time Warp for him. Hellset doesn't have a defensive Time Warp, but he's on the other side of the map. It wouldn't even matter. This is going to be game, I think. They've got
surely
4 members here with a Time Warp. There's no way that blue can hold this off.
No, 50%, 40. Can't even say the words quick enough. Although it does go down quite slow. Should be the end of it, really, here. And we are going to see Rank Dragons pushing us into a 3rd map in our series finals. The Go4 Guild Wars 2 Cup number 50 in the EU. One more game. will decide who will pick up that 400 euros. To get these games started, we're not asking for instant starts, but, you know, to the
5
point.
minutes is more than enough time to get
5
your
minutes
stats down. I remember, it would take about 2 max. I mean, NA teams can do it, EU teams can do it, right?
Yeah,
hopefully these guys get started here and get this last game of this up to date over. Let's see how who's going to be coming out on top.
20 seconds, we're starting this, whether or not they are ready or not. Getting bored of this, so we are going to fast start the game to get this cup underway. I'm excited to start and actually know what's going to happen here. Okay, we're ready to go. Final game of the ESL Go4GW2 Cup, number 50. We are ready to go. Stormy, me old bud, me old mate, me old mucker from central parts of America. Not Central America. You're going through the splits in this final game between Dragons on the red team, Hot over on the blue team.
Looking at these guys, it looks like, man, different split. Lippian going for the windmill. Going to have, as well as Helseth going over to the mansion. No tread play right at the start, some stealth play coming out for the red team. Nothing too crazy, I want to say, at the opening split of this game.
Not really. Everything's centralized really around mid. They're being very cautious. It is a big game now. No, some may say it's not that much money, but it's still money. Oh, Vamprune again saves the life of someone. Will it be enough to take him back out
Looks
of position?
like
It is.
Helseth is able to stay alive. Vamprune did save him. He would have died. And looks like he was forced out of that node, and red team really putting a whole lot of pressure over here at the mansion.
Good rotation there. I mean, Tage isn't going to get back on node though. He's just trying to survive. I mean, he's still keeping 2 people here, but the thing is, the portal comes out and they move back into the rest of the map. Oracle going towards mid now as we see Berserker coming out from that Great Sword 4, of course, and we're going to see a Time Warp coming out onto node as well. We believe that was from Frostball here. Sorry, click into the right person.
Yeah, they should be able to get that cap.
Easy days.
Yeah, they will get that cap, or excuse me, holding on to that cap. They already managed to get the cap, but we still have a bit of a fight emerging over here at the mansion. Never actually ended as red team managing to hold on to that, taking down Tage in the process. That's a very big pickup. Without Tage's support, they're not going to be able to, make much of an effective push over here if only Minishi's in the area.
And Vapor gets up because he gets rallied in the end as well. I'm not sure Minishi was expecting that. They get the stomp indeed as well, and now we can see the Oracle and Vapor push back onto Minishi as Minishi was kind of harassing Vapor in the downstate there as well. We're going to see decaps happen across the map now as well. As we go towards mid, Frostball tries to pick up the massive amount of damage onto Minipar. He gets off node there, and he's going to pull off that Earth Armor as well using his utility there, but he's going to get some support over towards mid from Vapor as well as the Oracle now. So it should be able to just sustain to a degree on this point. We're going to see some action on the other side of the map as we go towards Windmill. Helseth in a bit of trouble. Does get that blink up top on towards the midpoint. Again, Vapor form comes out from, Mistform comes out from that Vamprune, gets the stealth and moves back out to survive.
Yeah, the beginning of this game has come as no surprise to me. Neither team has a cap right now, and I feel like that's the trend of this series as well, if not the whole entire
It's been such a slow
I think this is going to time out. There is no secondary map mechanic that's going to give them points. They've already proven this game will time out, so it's going to come down to who can get an early lead and maintain it for most of the game here.
Yeah,
Helseth dropping a time warp at the windmill, but gets taken down outside of it. Minishi going in for the rest, gets him regardless.
Yeah, got the quickness, I think, off that, and can still stay inside, just inside the temple. Sorry, the time warp there as well. We are going to see downstate here of Lippion. Tage is down as well on the other side of the map, but Frostball really low HP again. Vamp comes out with a proc, but we are going to see him go down in the end as Munipar and Vapor just finish off that fight, and red team grab a 2 cap here for Dragons. We are going to see possibly a 3 cap come out as well if they can get the kill onto Curve, which they might try and pick up actually if they're cheeky enough to do. Lippion can come back onto the point, he can sustain, Oracle can move out, and really, oh no, Oracle needs to move out of this. That's going to be really, really horrible if he dies.
Really good support. We had a couple of heals coming out onto him, if I'm not mistaken. Able to keep himself alive there. And he's going to go back to that midpoint now. Red team holding on to a 2-cap. This is the small lead I was talking about. If they continue to hold on to this for a few minutes, it's going to be very difficult for this blue team to get back into this game, especially with no secondary map mechanics. It's going to generate point income, and these teams are, you know, they're really good. If trap play comes, they're going to deal with it appropriately.
Because Zan as well is on a mission in that rampage from the Elixir X, but he's still got some nice conditions on him, which are ticking his HP down, and he's not got any health. Oh, I guess the Elixir X, or is that the Vamp? Sorry, I didn't check to see what it was running. It was the Vamp, sorry, that comes out. He's still got 4 stacks of burning. He needs to get rid of that. Pops the Elixir X, the S there, to make sure he gets rid of those conditions, but still being trailed down here. Don't think he has the cog shield up and ready. Possible res from Munipai here. Might get him up. Does indeed. Good job from him. Lipion low as well over towards the mansion. He's going to go down stated, unfortunately for him. But red team still are going to be holding that windmill cap in their favour as Curve just taking on a couple of members of
Oh, is Lipion. Nice pull from Zan, but Frostball portal back here. There's the Toss Elixir X to stop, going to come out into Lipion there. Zan not able to save him that time. And possibly looking for this 1v1 at the mansion as blue team get the cap in the midpoint. Nice and blow. The 2-cap coming out there for blue team. Down about 100 points, but they're definitely going to make their way back into this one as long as they're able to hold on to this.
Yeah, we got blue team kind of being quite devastated. Now that's pretty good for red, enabling them to push back out into the map, and blue are going to have to defend these nodes, or maybe can counter it with one of the Mesmers stealthing around the sides. Just double check to see what they're going with here.
Time Warp at the midpoint coming out there. I believe that was from Frostball. I'm not so sure that was a necessary Time Warp. Lipion wasn't even on the node.
They've just backed off.
If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, look at the jukes!
Very defensive Time Warp.
Look at the jukes though.
That was needed.
Like Oracle goes towards mansion. They panic Time Warped. They just got the decap there. Look at Vapors coming in as well as Zan. They're going to 3v1 this quick.
Oh, he
onto Curve.
The Moa. He dodged the Signet of Humility. That is a 3-minute cooldown. Not going to be doing anything for the Oracle. That really would have helped them clean up that fight. At least, you know, get a kill onto one of those elementals.
And now they've got the Time Warp down as well, and that puts Lipion into downstate. That's pretty massive on this side of the map, and there's going to be a really good opportunity for Hot to come back. They go for the res. They get it. But was that too much in the end? They do get a lot of they get a lot of health back actually throughout their team. Zan goes towards mid as well, but blue do re-pick up that mansion point. Just wondering where Oracle is. He's back over towards the mansion. He's going to get the decap here again, but we have got the portal there. So it's just looking to keep it up. Don't think they're
he portals, but he gets the decap. It wasn't there in time.
Didn't put it on
awareness coming out from the blue team, but it wasn't quick enough. Didn't respond quick enough to those swords popping up on the map. Now the Oracle are going to be in a 1v2 situation against Helseth. Actually, 1v3 is Ministry coming over here as well. Zan and the Oracle need to be very careful. They could be spiked down pretty easily. We see Vapor make his way. This is a huge team fight. This is going to be a full-fledged 4v4.
Yeah, Helseth.
As Helseth taken into the down state, going in for the res. They are going to get it back up into this fight.
Oh, Vapor might go down here. Shadow Refuge.
I think he should have popped.
Oh my good lord.
Oh man. Oh man. Able to stay alive, just barely. But look at the health pools for red right now. They're so
screwed.
low. Zan, Oracle, Vapor, all under 25%.
The kill on Helseth though! Look at that! Vapor just picking him out. Is he going to be out? He's just going to cleave him down. They're going to he's still in downstate. They go for the res. Zan is also downstated, but he comes back up towards this mansion node. And Dragons aren't giving up.
Look at the Condis on Lipion right now.
Much. They've got to get out of here,
alive.
surely.
The red team getting out of this misses the Earthshaker onto the building. Regardless, if he had gotten the Earthshaker, might have been able to stay alive, but he is going to be taken out there. The stop coming out there from Minishi, and they are going to storm back to this midpoint as a little bit of aggressive play coming out from the red team. Retreating from Mansion over here is finally coming out from red. Oh, the portal back.
Oh!
Trying to get a top of Tage. The Moa comes out there from Zan. That was an Elixir, Toss Elixir X. And they should be able to wipe, at least, you know, no, they are not wiping anything up. This is another big team fight.
Oh, he's got the Burn Guard on him. Zan's, like, in a horrible situation versus Burn Guard, and that absolutely destroys him as well. Wow, the damage that came out from that was insane. We actually saw the addition there of Mesmer players. We see Minishi taking his place on the portal there and moving back in towards mid. We've got 60 points left lead-wise, and it's slowly decreasing as the blue team do pick up the 2-cap, bring on Hot. trying to keep the 2-cap in their favor. They're not risking it at all at the moment, as we see only really play happening for the red team between mid and the mansion, same for blue, but they're being successful in their defense.
Yeah, and there's 6 minutes left on this clock, so blue team definitely get back into this one. Really good rotations from the red team. Blue team is really winning the fights in the end. Tage now under a lot of pressure. Actually got back up to the midpoint, and Time Warp actually came out there. I believe that was from Frostball, a bit of a defensive Time Warp in case they really needed that. They wanted to make sure Tage didn't die.
Decap.
Need him in these fights in the decap, like you were saying.
No!
The Oracle once again drops the portal. Not going to go for the full cap.
Halsef gets one as well.
Yeah, a double decap. Decap coming out on both sides here, and 5:30 left. Blue team, the only team taking a node right here.
Yeah, I mean, and the problem is right there is that in the end, it's really benefiting the blue team. They're able to come back now into this game. It's so slow. It's the world's slowest comeback.
Well,
but the thing
that's
is,
kind of the theme I feel of this series.
Yes,
like
so
this is slowly edging, and then the rotations are what is slowing this game down. So many decaps from these teams.
Mid decap happens. Oh my God! 17 points lead. This is so tight at the moment. Where are we going to see this first point picked up? We've got Minishi versus Lipion over on the mansion. We've got mid where Curve is 1v2, and really at the moment you feel like Curve can just survive anything, which means that red must be outnumbering somewhere.
I mean, Curve got mowed
across
at
map
midpoint
blue. Sorry,
briefly there. I believe that was coming out from Zan. And now blue team able to pick up the cap over at the windmill. Looks like Tage going to be in the area for that one. And they are 13 points down here. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in this game. The Oracle actually under a bit of pressure. Looks like he's just going to go on the rafter here. As blue team are about to take the lead in just a few seconds. Looking to claim keep as well.
This is ridiculous. You've got 4 minutes left in the game as well. I think they've got... Do they have the mid cap? No, they don't. There's like 1 tick left. They get it now. They've got 2 caps in their favor.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, my
this
God.
Is so intense as we still have... I mean, look at the health pools for Zan, Vapor, and Lipion. They're not looking
Time
so
Warp
great.
as well. Hellset brings out the Time Warp, and if they get the kills here, red team, they're going to lose possible free cap if they can move it all the way back over towards their spawn, which is easy to do. Hellset actually pulls back to mid as red team trying to make a bit of a play here, but they've got 2 portals. They can counter rank 55 so easily just by spotting out where that portal is. They've got such extra moves.
Zan does have his heal, throws stealth down, gets his heal off, should be okay. Try and get a pull onto, I believe, Tage there, who's now under a little pressure. He goes into the downstate. They can pick up this kill. That would be very big. Curve going in for the res with stab. Knockback from Tage. There is the S stop coming from Zan. He is still low. Gets the stop. A lot of cleave coming out from the red team. Are going to pick up this decap. In the meantime, 3 minutes left to go in this game. Red needs a cap now.
They need to maybe plus up over on Mansion. Just go right through. Vapor could have just gone straight through the map there. But the thing is that they're going to get the respawn, and it's their close point in this Tage. They want to try and get to the furthest point away, I guess, to a degree. But Tage can pull up to mid as well, and that would be horrible as an engage. But look at the thief. Uh-oh. I don't know why I sense this, but I sense Tage is just going to burst in there straight away onto Vapor. There he does! Gets it straight away, but... Oh! Oh my good lord, prediction! I knew that was going to happen!
No, that's not. The banner comes out from Lipion. And getting him back up into the fight. Despite that, they're still down quite a bit here. Over 60 points here. They need to get another cap. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in this game. If they don't get a 2 cap very soon, this will definitely be game.
This is massive. Lipion there as well, low HP. They cannot lose people now. They cannot lose anyone because they need to hold this 15 seconds all the time in the world, and it feels like he's going to go down. Earthshaker's out of that. He's going to survive here. Look at that survivability. He still has Earthshaker back up now as well, and he might be okay actually as he gets back onto node. Lipion is running for his life. He's been, I don't think he's been below above 10 HP for about 30 seconds or so, and we are going to see red team. You can see the HP pools though. Look at the conditions and damage coming onto these guys. It doesn't feel like they're going to be able to come back in this, and they've not got a cap either. 80 points as well. It's not looking likely, so it's not looking
it really
likely.
isn't. Without, blue team getting that cap at the windmill, they could just sit there all game long, and that will be game. Give up a 2 cap. I don't think that's not going to happen. I think we're going to see the comeback once again from Bring On Hot. Just, oh man, the Oracle able to land the Moa on Minishi.
Oh, this is...
They're not giving up. This
is a good...
Oh,
freak out. It's possible. It's... Oh, this is awkward. I was going to go back over to the windmill, have a look, trying to have a look and see what's going on over here. Moonipie's trying to get something out of this. Trying to get the decap. Frostball coming over to the node with Helseth. So much Chaos Storm on the point. Red team need to get someone to win like yesterday because they're still kicking up the points. They need to catch up. They can't do this if they don't get the decap. Really, they need the
There's the time warp
plus.
from Helseth. And I think we have game over. There's no way they're getting back into this game. 30 seconds left in one. Helseth won't be getting decapped anytime soon, it feels like.
This is GG.
Got a few cooldowns left, and I just don't see it happening. That will be game over, and an impressive comeback once again from Bring On Hot. We saw this in the first game. They definitely deserved that victory there. I mean, they were down like 100 points again, and they managed to, you know, come back from that. Red team have a 2-cap, but that will be game.
They had a little bit longer. They probably knew by the math, indeed, that they were going to win. But you never can tell, you know, because you can get the kills. Mathematically, yes, the caps in terms of that, but if you get some kills as well, you get a couple more kills after that, you can indeed catch up. But today, we have seen Bring On Hot taking the final game in this series. And they'll be walking away with a little bit of cash there. 400 euros for the team. But Dragon's not walking away empty-handed. 100 euros as well with 2k gems each. So good to see everyone coming out today for this ESL Go4 Guild Wars 2 Cup final. We're not going to spend too much time wrapping up here today, but we had a great cup. Again, thank you, Storm. I am literally bowing. You can watch it on stream. I really appreciate you coming to help out today. Nick unfortunately wasn't able to make it, and it's good to cast with you again. I haven't casted with you for a long time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a bit different from NA for sure. You know, to see the other side of things, different meta, or not necessarily different meta, but different builds definitely coming in for EU. So really enjoyed it. And a long cast that was what, like 4 hours, but despite that, you know, just 2 more hours and I've got another one. So enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
Well, guys, make sure put some supportive stuff in chat and say thanks to Storm for taking part today and helping out with the cast. Also, don't forget to follow him at Game with Storm. Also, follow me as well at JebDan. We'll see you in the future for another Go4 Guild Wars 2 Cup. But that's the 50th. Make sure you watch the monthly finals on Wednesday for September in EU and NA. And we'll see you very soon. Take care.